Hello, everybody. What happened to my wife? Where'd she go? Where'd she go? Where did she go? Haha. There we go.
I'm not here.
Once again, guys, a well-oiled machine, my friends. Great to see each and every one of you guys here tonight. Thank you so much for coming. And, man, you guys are in for a real treat tonight. This is geared for YouTubers. So.
It is, for YouTubers and not only for anybody who is putting any content out there on social media and who owns any business. They have to be on social media.
Yes.
So really, it is for each and every one of you. You always wondered how those videos go viral, why some of the videos get shared everywhere. Well, we have an answer for you tonight. We have a guest that knows the answer, the science behind the recipe of the viral videos.
That's right, guys. This is knowledge. Well, actually, there is course and seminars, and you're going to get a real insight tonight. And yeah, you can't kick on the price for the kind of information on top of it you're getting. So,
oh yes, yes, our guest tonight is going to be joining us from Australia.
Yes, and if you've never joined us before for an episode, or you've never joined us when we had one of our friends from Down Under on, Xenia likes to cover the whole what's in the future thing. So we're going to let that kind of just come out right in from the get-go. Let her get it out of her system, and then we'll be able to proceed on with tonight's guest.
Oh, well, yes, yeah. I'm definitely going to ask our guest, Jonathan, today, how is Valentine's Day doing?
Yes.
And I think this is the all husband's nightmare coming into the truth, because we are already celebrating Valentine's Day today.
Yes.
Since we're joined by Australian creator, and it's already Valentine's Day there.
Yes.
So happy Valentine's Day to everybody in New Zealand, Australia, and everywhere in the land down under.
I'm sorry, Omar. We had just came in off the get-go, but we do thank you very much for that. Very kind of you. We do appreciate it. So.
Oh, thank you
Sorry
so
that.
much. Yes,
we did have it up here to mention it right after that, but thank
Omar
you.
Master, thank you.
Yes, and really do appreciate it.
Yes. So what do you think?
Well, guys, I want to...
Valentine's Day today, tomorrow, and you know what? Even on Friday, because we have our own live stream post Valentine's, just the two of us.
3 days of an. What's that? What's that, wallet? Stop crying, wallet. It's okay. No, I gotta say, Xenia's not that type of girl. I gotta say that. I will first off.
Yeah.
That's right, guys. Not just getting the hamburger at McDonald's, she's getting the trio, folks. That's right. We're going all out.
Well, guess what, guys? One of our anniversaries, this is a little preview. We went to IKEA for Swedish meatballs.
That's right.
Yeah,
one of our better anniversary moments.
Yeah, that was our anniversary dinner.
Yeah, that was because doctor's appointments and all things worked around. I don't like doing the restaurant thing on Valentine's Day. A, we got kids. It's through the week most times. B, you're getting absolutely royally ripped off for some of the worst meal packages going and stuff like that. So
that's right. And Andrew can make the killer steak with lobster tails.
That's right.
Surf and turf. Oh my God, so good.
That's right.
Okay, well, that's for us, that's only tomorrow, but for you guys, it might be today. So brace yourself or love yourself and each and every one of people around you.
I want to say a big welcome to everybody. As we always say here, out of 1 billion plus channels and everything happening in your lives, for some of you, even through Valentine's Day, where you are, we thank you so much for joining us. And Hope you guys will really enjoy the show tonight. This is going to be stellar. I kid you not. Anybody who doesn't know, in Montreal, we got a little bit of snow last night.
A little bit.
This is what we woke up to this morning. This happened all last night. The streets were clean when we went to bed.
Yeah.
This I took down the street from where we live at another place. Guys, never show your houses anywhere, anything even remotely close to where you live. As a side note, but I pulled over the car and took the shot, and this is what it looked like this morning. So we got roughly 1.5 feet or 44 centimeters, excuse me.
Yeah, 44 centimeters of snow in 12 hours, guys. That's crazy. But you know what? It's Canadian weather. It's Canadian winter, you also.
Yeah, no, that was quite the dumping of snow. So.
It was. We got almost snowed in.
Gussie says, let's vote winter officially over. Yeah, I'd like to, but I know how that's going to play out. So
yes, and it's middle of February. I know Europe is already blooming in flowers in some places, and well, Australia and New Zealand is hit by a heat wave. So
yes,
guess what, guys? Yeah, do you want some snow? We can send it to you.
Most definitely. As I melt, Alyssa Parrish says, as I melt in the heat, one of us lives on another planet, I'm sure. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Ben's. Isn't that fun clearing all that stuff? Isn't it a great pastime? Not. What a lie. What a crock. Actually, one of the worst things for heart attacks going is snow shoveling.
Very true. Very true.
And if you do, definitely pace yourself. Be in it for the long haul. Give yourself lots of time because it is not good for your heart. I'm building my Oklahoma droner. Hello, I'm building my wife a house for Valentine's Day and her birthday, Christmas, New Year's. It will probably be her last present ever.
And Happy Trails Hiking said that they celebrate Valentine's every day. Yes, definitely. But I think instead of just refusing it altogether, it's just another great way to show love to the people that you hold dear to yourself or to yourself. Love yourself too. That's the very first thing you should be doing even before loving anybody else.
That's right. And that will tie right into our it's the last day for that merch, isn't it? Or no, we're going to the end of the week.
Tomorrow, yes. Tomorrow is the last day, just for any late birds, so to say.
That's right. Late birds, no less.
Yes.
Oh, exactly.
Love yourself and love all special edition merchandise is available on our special Push Studios website on Teespring here, as well as our limited edition 2-for-1 stickers and mugs. And if you apply code LOVEALL, it's free shipping for US. So check that out. Red, white, and black colors, T-shirts, cuddle pillows, mugs. Amazing.
Very funny, Mitten Dad. Very funny. I couldn't say. I was laughing when you wrote that. Said, is it okay if I ask for support all night long?
And of course, our regular Blue Ranch Group merch available too. Plain blue, if you are into more simple kind of style, and as well as custom made seamless blue wrench pattern, all blue little wrenches and socks and leggings and t-shirts and stickers and mugs. All of that, and as well, if you apply code LOVEALL, it's free shipping up until tomorrow night for Blue Ridge Group merchandise as well. Code LOVEALL.
That's
and
right,
I wanted to shout out a very special video today with our merch in it. Our dear Mr. Marcel Harding from New Zealand posted a great unboxing and shout out video of our Blue Ranch Group mug. A coffee mug, and also a little, I love that, a little how-to tutorial of how to actually get to our Teespring website and how to purchase it. Loved it so much. Thank you so much, Marcel. That was amazing. Link is in the chat if you want to go over and show some love to Marcel Harding's video about Blue Ranch Group's mug.
And guys, thank you for all the highs. I definitely going to show your names in a minute. I was just getting everybody a few minutes to get in and file in so I don't miss anybody. It's great to see you all, and thank you for all the kind words. Technetic Beats is in here. We spoke about you last night. We were talking about music again on YouTube and where you can get good music and know where it comes from. Guys, it's like today, everybody likes to shop for their food and know where it comes from because they can trust it and believe in it. Same thing with Technetic Beats, guys. So there he is. Check him out. Anybody's here last night or anybody here tonight just looking for music for their YouTube channels.
That's right.
So that's so great to have so many great channels in here, guys. This is going to be a real treat, guys. This guy has his fingers in so many pies. Why? Because everybody wants him. So you are going to hear great information. And he will be appearing on TEDx Talks a week from today, correct?
Yes, that's right. On Australian time, I think it's 21st of February. So for us, it's going to be 20th. And I'm sure there's going to be links after on TEDx web pages. He's going to be talking about viral videos there as well. Can't wait. Can't wait to see that.
Wealth of information.
Yes,
real wealth.
and my keyboard doesn't work, but that's okay.
Your keyboard doesn't work now?
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Oh, my God.
Okay.
Oh, no. See, guys, everything runs smoothly here. Nothing ever goes wrong. Karen Sommers, how are you? Well, while Xenia's looking at her keyboard, this might be a good time for me to shout all you guys out.
Yes.
And as always, guys, we do it with echo. Why? Because you guys, well, tonight we have our main star of the show, of course. But as well from that, you guys are the stars of the show every day and keep us going. Oh, it wasn't working because we had switched keyboards. Oh my God.
So if there is any gibberish there, that's from me.
Oh, the Canada Show, the Echo Rock. Great channel, man. Love you guys' live stream. I was in this morning. It was yesterday morning. Today I was doing snow. Love it, love it, love it what you guys got going on.
And I just wanted to say, JC No Limit, how many views to consider a video viral? We're talking about companies like Nike, Apple, companies like that, where videos goes thousands of hundreds of thousands of views in shares.
Yes.
That's we call viral,
and that's who he's doing it for.
Talking about.
Yeah.
He is working with top 200 companies in Australia and making these videos for them. So that's way beyond views on YouTube. We want to know more about it.
Alrighty, and back to our...
Okay.
There we go, guys. Now we got Echo on, and it's time to say hi to each and every one of you guys. And once again, thank you so much for coming. Guys, please don't forget to tweet this out, hit the like button, and if you're new here, please hit the subscribe so you can see all the things we got going on, which you can always find, guys, in our About section of our channel. You'll see a listing of times. We're on 7 p.m. Eastern every night, Sunday through Friday, except for tomorrow, every Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern, where we do our Eastern European. My wife's from Eastern Europe, and we're just going to have to learn to realize that I mean all of Europe, of course. Much love to you all, that we do it for our friends across the pond. So there you go. I am thinking of you, hon. There's my Valentine's Day gift. Alrighty, guys. I want to say a great big hi to Work Legend 01. Vexicor is here. Vate Ozaki. I always worry I'm mispronouncing your name. It's so great to have you here. Valen Coco. Vibrasser Outdoors. Trek Lady C. The Panda Photographer. Theoretical Pops, the Mitten Dad, the Irish Train Guy, the Creator Spotlight Show, the Cannabis Show, Tim's World. Oh my God, Themes. Just love having you here. We had a big debate over the name last night. We should have worked harder after we went off to pronounce it properly. Great to have you here nonetheless. How was that for coverage and advertising? That should be worth something for it. So, Terrell's Artwork Channel, our original wrench. We got Technetic Beats in the house. Tara, fresh free sharpshooter Cope. How you doing? Stacy, here we grow again. Silver Shadows, Backyard Photography. Shane Rito, Rodden Games, Road Trip Eddie, Reaper Man, Rama Videos, Ralph's Trucking and more. Paul Murray is in here. Good to see you. Patricia Sprinkles, Pam M, Orton Images, Omar Master, New World Nerds, Mr. E, Mr. MSL, Moto Matman. We have Mary Jane Giveaway, Marcel Harding, Little Llama Laura, Life with Melissa, Let Eat with Nadira, Kiwi Matt Reacts is here, Kevin's Chaos, Jordan Lawrence, Jason NG, Jacqueline Brown, JNC No Limit TV, Izzy Fam, Indigo Rhino, iCraze J, Icebergen, Hunting and Stuff with J and J, Happy Trails Hiking is here, Gussie Wells, Grace's World TV, Going on Grumpy, Gil Skills, who did a fantastic video today, guys, celebrating so many YouTube careers and that, did such an awesome job on it. Once again, big congratulations to you, Gil Skills. Very, very well done. And we're honored that we're part of it. Thank you so much for thinking of us. Want to say hi to Gabriel Z, Food Lover, Fitting to Grub, Dangerous YouTuber / Prevolution, D Squad, Karen Sommers, Capturing Chris, Buzz, oh my god, this is one of these names I always stutter on to. Buzz is Jill. I'm so sorry. Blowhole, Big Heck, Ben Coons, B&J Outdoors, Alyssa Parrish, Rock Fam, Alex the Blue Man Reviewer and Gamer, Aerial Landscapes, Abandoned City Campbell Crew Explorers, 21090 Brewing, Tornado Gating 234. A big welcome to each and one of you. Paul, you are crazy, man.
A donation from Roger Kim, Roxy, and Cab 7 on Canadian Drone Hub. Aww.
You were like one of the. Thank you very, very much.
So sweet. Thank you so much.
And I appreciate. I was so much when you did it for when you do for Roger and all that. You're one unbelievable person. Thank you so very much.
Sticky Butts is here. Sticky Buds.
Oh, sticky butts. Oh, sticky butts, 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 sticky butts. He's in the house. That's right. Good to see you, my friend. Great to see you. That's the intro for all of these videos, by the way, and I absolutely love it. Scrapping Irish, so great to see you.
Thank you so much. I seen he just mailed his merch to us, so I'm so excited. Scrapping Irish.
Oh, that's so cool. Thank you so much.
Corn Space. I raise you,
What?
Paul. Oh my. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Corn Space.
Thank you and welcome. Thank you to both of you. Wow, guys.
That's very generous of you. Thank you.
Gee, I don't know what to say. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Fellow Canuck, I see. Great to meet you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's awesome. Yeah. So Scrapping Irish, he's sending us his merchandise so we can wear it on St. Patrick's Day, which is coming up.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yes, I hope it makes it in time from overseas. I'm so excited. So excited. It's so cool.
Thank you so very much. Thank you. Well, guys, I kind of got thrown off for that. Thank you very much, both of you. The guys are so kind. Thank you very much.
Johnson Joy, hello. Good to see you back again here. Kiwi Matt joining us from land down under as well.
Yes, great to see you again. Great to see you.
Russell Rama, stay here. We grow again. D Squad, hello. Ultimate Fishing, Fish Keeping Show, hello. Push is awesome.
Oh,
you're awesome. Bossy,
yes.
hey.
You guys make us awesome.
And guys, please remember about hashtag Blue Range Group selfies. That's right. If you're new here, just a reminder, take a selfie of yourself, or even better, a selfie if you're watching us, and post it on social media with the hashtag Blue Range Group. And if it's on Twitter, we're going to be sharing it on our live stream. Great way to connect with each other and be shouted out as well.
Do some right now?
Yes, let's do them. I love it so much. I'm so looking forward every time.
There's our buddy. There he is. Ben Coombs. How are you, my friend? Love it. Love it. Love it.
Aw.
See, guys, this is what I'm talking about. You got merch or anything like that, this is the time to put on. There you can self-promote. Looking great. Looking great. Canucks with guitars. I absolutely love it.
Growing Passion. Welcome to our channel here.
Yes, great to have you. So nice to have you drop by. And Marcel Harding with our mug. I'm loving it, my friend. Thank you so very much.
Nice. Thank you.
I love the touch with the brushes.
Yes.
Marcel's a fantastic artist. Thank you so very much. There he is, guys. Scrapping Irish. There he is.
Awesome. That's so awesome.
See, guys, this is a great way to show everybody what you got going on. I love it. Absolutely fantastic. And thank you once again. You are just way, way, way too cool.
Little Laura, hello.
How are you doing? Yeah, she said she's not sure tomorrow she'll be able to make it because her mom is scheduled for surgery again. If they don't
Finally, it got postponed, so that's good to
Cross her fingers that it does stay on, and I'm sure everything's going to go fabulous. Life tips with Miss D. How are you? Hey, my lovies. Grab your computers, smartphones, and jump onto the Pusa Studios live stream and learn how to make your YouTube video go viral. Hashtag Blue Wrench Group. Thank you so very much.
And look at all that greenery. It looks so summery.
A little different from our picture we showed a while ago. Thank you so very much.
Awesome.
You guys are so cool. I just look so forward to these selfies. Aerial landscapes, thank you so much. Loving it. Wow. That looks awesome.
Nice. Very nice.
Even kind of got the high going almost. I'm going to say it before Xenia does because I know what she's going to say. Oh, yeah, technique. Yeah, I can just quickly hit that in a second for sure. Jenny, what's going on, Jenny? Always love seeing you, Jenny Morris, guys. Always such a pleasure. So good to us here and so many other channels.
Yeah.
You are such a sweetheart.
Always putting links in. Thank you so much.
Very good, like I say. Wow, man, you're taking great ones. The Panda photographer, guys. Another fantastic looking selfie.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Thank you so very much. Oh yeah, we tweeted that out. Rosa Rama, man, look at the photography. Look at the photography. You always blow us away.
Beautiful.
I know it's late for you over there in France. Thank you so much for joining in, my friend. Always look forward to your work. Theoretical Pops, what a great shot. I love it.
Ooh, nice.
Very nice.
Nice.
Oh, that is cool.
On a big TV and
tablet and the popping end. Yeah.
Wow.
That's a great.
Thank you so much. Hunting and Stuff with J and J. Thank you so much.
That is so kind of you. Thank you.
Very kind of you.
We really do appreciate it, guys. Your support and that and believing in us. It means the world. Uzalu Garage, how are you? It's great to see you, my friend.
How are you? Are you snowed in too there? Most likely.
Jeez. Images.
Oh.
Tom Jones and his near Canadian.
I look wonderful tonight.
Thank you. It should have been the other night when I had more of my white hair in the other day and that stuff. Little Llama Laura. Oh wow. One of my Valentine's Day gifts. Wow.
Aw. Yeah, that's right. It's Valentine's Day there as well. Creeping up.
That's right. That's right. Very nice. Very nice. And then we have Prototype, this 3D looking great, my friend. There we are up there. That is cool.
That is amazing. Yes, guys, and you can have yours made as well right there. Just get in touch with him, and you're going to get your logo on the wall as well.
What a great idea. What a really great idea. I have more, but having adhesive issues. Love you guys, and lots of love right back to you.
And I'm going to put the link in the chat just in case you're interested.
On Vexy with Anime. Happy Valentine's Day.
Beautiful.
You guys are so awesome. Thank you so very much. Little Llama Lord, yeah, you're 22 minutes into Valentine's Day. You're off with a bang. That's awesome.
And Panda Photographer says, for Valentine's Day, me and myself are getting a room and watching Dragon Balls.
I hope you have a fantastic time doing so.
I love that.
Oh, ATGH, no problem, but great to see you. Great to see you. Thank you so much for coming by.
Spammy, hello. Sincere Harris, hello.
Actually, what we're working with, all of our equipment you can find down below in our About section, links to Amazon, but these are the XML 770 mics. Our mixer here, let me see if I can turn it for a second. The mixer is a Mackie Pro FX8 version 2. The microphone stands are Pile, the kind of like Amazon generic ones. They are spring, not chalk, but that's fine for what we do. Maybe down the road we'll upgrade, but for now they serve more than the purpose. Oh, I'll be drone, no problem. Great to see you. Great to see you. All you channels in here. Guys, anybody, YouTubers, entrepreneurs, anything, tonight you're not going to want to miss this. This is information you can't even put a price onto. I kid you not.
And no, it's not hard to use. So go check it out. And if you're interested. And yes, we are on Instagram. Thank you, Terrell, for putting all the links. We are on Instagram. We are on Twitter, on Facebook. Just Pusa Studios. Search for Pusa Studios. If you forget the link, all our handles are the same all across the web.
ATGH has been a tough week. Is there some you're some awesome sledgehammer the like button. Thank you so much. I'm sorry it's been a tough week. I'm hoping for better days ahead for you and that.
Nomadic bike is in the house as well.
Let's see. Technically, Beaks USB or Thunderbolt mixer. It's a USB driven one, or you're sending through the audio to another. No, it's a USB driven mixer. That's why I went with that one. And it seems to do the job well. I eventually want to run. The other night I started playing with it. I want to run my guitar and stuff through it as well.
Love the mics, though. I love mics. Like I was telling yesterday, and I said some people are going to chew my head off for saying that this is better than Blue Yeti, but I do think that the sound is much deeper.
Yes, it did. For that one, yeah, we were going for that NPR kind of sound, so it's definitely what we were looking for. But you got to find the best mic for you guys. We are happy with these ones. Links are all in the description, and they don't break the bank. It was like $100 Canadian for these ones, which for what we're getting, we're very happy.
Yeah. Panda Photographer is eating black sesame tofu cheesecake.
Oh.
Well, who cares about the price? It's Valentine's Day.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
You gotta treat yourself. Gotta spoil yourself sometimes. Theoretical Pops. Awesome. Yes, of course. We love that people are jumping the communities and channels, and it's awesome to go and watch somebody's live stream and see people there that we know connected through our live streams. That's what we're all here about, is connect people across the board. That's why interviews are creators from all over different categories all over the world, and the same as with shout-out streams and Tuesday Tech Talks. We try to connect to each other as human beings, not just as channels, because that's what we're all here about. We all have a story, and that's what we're going to be talking about today, about the stories behind the videos and how important that is. It
is, guys. And anybody who's ever dreamed of making... Drake uses a $100 mic. Sure, SM50. I worked for Jam Industries. That was in the audio department. Sure, and I mean they're the workhorse. They're the workhorse of the music world, man. You can't go wrong with that Shure 57. It's definitely earned its weight.
And where is Danny Black? Is in the house watching from Detroit.
Really?
Detroit. Well, that's not far away from here. Are you flying over to Montreal later? Well, closer than being in Australia.
God. This is true.
Yeah, you're right closer to Uzulu, by the way.
That's very true.
So it's close. It's close. Zion, thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, guys, I guess we're going to bring him on in just a minute. I'm going to pass over to Xenia while I got him all set up in here. In the meantime, please, if you haven't hit the like button, if you haven't tweeted it out, please do. It really does help us out a lot. If you can DM a couple of friends and tell them to come over, say, hey, guys, we've all talked about hitting a viral video. This is the guy that's done it for Nike and all these brands. I mean, what else? I cannot tell you how important this information is. This is coming right from the top, guys. And he will be appearing on TEDx Talks 1 week from today. This is so cool. So I'm going to pass word to Xenia, get him set up, and we'll get this going in just a minute. We're going to have our guest on.
Yes, guys, just of course, please subscribe if you're new. Hit that bell as well so you know when we are on. And we are on here 6 times a week from Sunday to Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern with all a bunch of different content for you guys. Our interviews 3 times a week, and of course Tuesday Tech Talk, 3 hours of Think Talk questions and answers about YouTube, and Shout Out Wheel. Yes, the next one coming up tomorrow. And today is our interview night, as we already talked about, and I think you are excited to see our amazing guest today. He has been a keynote speaker on a lot of conferences, podcasts, videos, all across the board internationally, not only in Australia. He started his career as a journalist, and was on a major TV network for 14 years, guys. And now he creates viral videos and stories for the biggest companies in Australia.
Definitely.
For Fortune 500, but in Australia. That is amazing.
It is. I mean, this is a wealth of knowledge here, and this is what we're all thirsting for. So make sure to keep out your guys' think of the stuff that you want to ask him. Xenia will take all the questions and also really take in what he's saying. He's telling you stuff that people usually pay a lot of money to get to hear, and rightfully so. So we're very, very fortunate to have him with us tonight. What do you say, hon? You ready to go?
Yes, I'm ready.
Alrighty then. Well, guys, let's welcome our guest all the way from Australia. Jonathan, how are you tonight?
I am very good. Can you hear me there?
Can
Yes.
hear you
Hi.
perfect.
Perfect. Happy Valentine's Day, ladies.
Oh, thank you. Happy Valentine's Day to you.
Yes, I was very lucky. I got a card this morning from my beautiful wife.
Aw, that's sweet.
So you're off to a
Of
good
course.
start.
Well, I'm off to a bad start because I did not get a card from my wife. So I have to, after this, I'll be dashing off
It is-
to get everything I planned, Andrew. You know, we plan these things.
well, it's a special surprise, you know.
That's right.
Yes.
It was so important that I just couldn't get it in advance, but don't worry, it's coming soon, and this is going to be big.
Yeah,
and then
the
as-
shipping got delayed.
That's right. Then the mad panic to the nearest gas station. See what they got going on.
Those fake flowers are custom made.
They are. That dollar store really has some high-end stuff. You say what you want.
The last rose at a flower shop all halfway torn
That's
up,
right.
you know. But
That's right.
it's there.
Of course, Andrew, you've got everything organised for tomorrow.
Oh, of course. I've been looking forward to this for months.
Yeah.
I think it was Danny Black told me what you were planning, and man,
Yeah.
you really have some high step in it.
Well, that's right. You know, not everybody travels to Hong Kong.
No,
to
I'm
make
so
things happen.
excited. I can't wait for tomorrow. Oh,
You wait, you
you
wait.
shouldn't have.
You
Well,
wait.
that's been
Yes,
that's
yeah,
been our
yes.
guest, Jonathan, folks, and it's been a real pleasure.
I'm out.
Oh my god, I had so much fun just in the pre-talk with you, like just a couple of minutes already. Like I just love this guy, and I'm loving this segment we're getting to meet from Australia in general. You guys have been so amazing, and I was saying how
We've got
we
a good
feel.
group down here, right?
You are, and like I was saying, that connection kind of between Canada and Australia, we kind of have them Commonwealth countries, you know, kind of going to their own tune, but you know, we have a different way of getting things done, but a lot of common in the end, I think.
Yeah, I think we've got similar people.
Yes.
You know, you know, I've got the world behind me. I think we sit in a similar space.
Yes.
You know, same beliefs, same sort of standards around respect
Yep.
and what's expected.
Yep.
And, you know, at times, I think right now, those expectations, we don't want to get too deep because we want to talk about what's going to help your viewers and your followers. But I think, you know, sometimes those things are getting challenged.
Yep. I agree.
And it's countries like, I mean, from our point of view, there are some countries that think we've got it all wrong. But from my point of view, I think Australia and Canada are probably two of the best countries in the world. And we're lucky to be in them. We're lucky that by chance we were born
Yeah,
here.
it's a spin the bottle type of thing, and it's just lucky that it worked out that way, you know. And that's what's cool about it, you know. And even our comedians and stuff kind of understand each other, like you know, our TV shows, a lot of the culture things, they're different, but they tend to do well in each other's markets like that.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, they do.
we all kind of feed a bit off. We get the British humor as a background, but we've made it our own. I like to say.
Yeah, I think the human. It's interesting. You know, my background, obviously, for the last 10 years, I've been studying where ideas come from, basically.
Exactly.
And you know, I'm lucky. I pay TV here in Australia. I watch a lot of British comedy, the old stuff, the old stuff that you can't even run anymore. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, I play. You know, my kids will walk into the room and I'll have the Goodies or Kenny Everett video show on, and you know, my 11-year-old looks at me horrified, saying, "You can't say that." And it's like, well, you know, I've always measured people by intent, and you know, by saying that joke, was he intending to hurt someone,
Yeah.
or was it humor? And I think intent's probably the most important thing in communication right now.
More than ever. Big time. You're measured heavily onto it. That I agree with.
It's,
And
yeah,
it's
it's that
changed.
whole. It's that whole. Who was the guy that was supposed to host the Golden Globes? Kevin Hart.
Yes.
Yeah, they go back 3 or 4 years ago and find a joke that he made, and look, you know, I respect all people in all facets, but you really got to look at the intent.
Yeah.
What was the intent?
And the change over time and all these things in the time that's passed. and
I
it's not-
sometimes wonder, you know, our kids, but necessarily what is okay now might not be in 20 years. How can you guess it, right?
Yeah.
And how our kids will have to maybe pay for what they said now, although it was okay now. You know, you never know how it evolves, and nowadays everything gets recorded everywhere for them. So I think it's going to be really tough.
Yeah, I think it is because, yeah, when I was a kid growing up in Australia in the 80s, we used to hold ourselves with pride that we were not politically correct.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was an in joke. It was
Mhm.
like, no one's politically correct here because you know what? It's just not the intent.
Right.
And yeah, we used to call our friends from Italy and Greece, you know, different names in the playground, and they had names for us, and it was all done with a joke, and the intent of it was, yeah, there's nothing sinister.
Mm-hmm.
And I think as Australia's become probably a bit more multicultural or a bit more, I think the internet's done it really. We've become less isolated because we are pretty much down here by ourselves. You know, it's you know, it's become a touchy subject now. You got to watch everything you do and say.
And that is important on here because we were lucky. We grew up, like myself, I'm 45. I grew up in an era where you weren't recorded. So your mistakes didn't become public because nobody's perfect. But now with anything in social media, we have to be so careful to put our message across the way we want it and really think about it before you upload. And I have seen that with channels that do stuff in like in rage or in angst or something in the wrong moment instead of just seeing it through, hit it. And it's not always just politically correct, but like, you know, in having a bad day. Well, a bad day could really give you a really bad couple of months on a platform now because you can always be remembered by your hardest moment, unfortunately. So, you know, to really take time to think when you put something up, especially if it's a message that, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like, you have to really consider the value when you hit the button that you are going to put yourself forward in a good light for a while to come, because it is very easy to be judged and very easy to be shut down now.
Yeah, but see, I look at a show like yours and the rate of comments that you get. I mean, monitoring those, I know you've got a lot of self-monitoring and the Blue Wrench group and all that sort of stuff, but you know,
oh yeah,
you just you know, that's but the internet is a great tool, and what we've been able to get our hands on and develop here is fantastic. But people have to use it the right way. There has to be that respect.
Like anything else, it's a great tool in one hand, it's an awful weapon in the other. It just depends who's wielding it.
Now, Andrew, do you normally put the coffee cup in front of the camera?
Yeah, that's the one you see me. That's the one you see me at home onto your place onto, and I do forget it after a couple of days. So thank you so much.
So that's not the one going away because I can only see the Zoom. I'm not watching the YouTube at the moment.
That's right. Yeah, that one's just for you. That's why it's at the horrible ankle.
Sorry, I just dropped my highlighter lid. I have to pick it up. I'm not.
No problem.
My daughter will kill me if this one goes dry. So.
Oh, well, we don't want that to happen.
All right.
So as you're working for some of these huge companies, that must be something that's on the board constantly. I don't want to jump right into business, and we'll come back more about you in a second. But since we're on it, like, that must be something that must be front and center now for most big companies in any kind of media they do, is making sure that it is seen in the right light, can't be misconstrued because of the change in the climate, I guess we'll call it, in media.
Yeah, it's really interesting. My background on TV was a pretty controversial show in the sense that we'd use hidden camera and chase bad builders and basically, I was a con man. I would con men.
Right.
Basically, I was like almost like a Joey Greco for bad builders and you know, shysters. And yeah, there was always a risk to that. So understanding, you know, what's acceptable and what isn't, you know, how far could I push it to get punched in the head because that'd be good for ratings, that sort of stuff. But then when you switch to the internet, you know, I started going out talking to big brands in 2012 about making content that I describe having a viral DNA.
Right.
And typically back then it was when WikiLeaks was big and everything was coming out. So the content back then was a little bit riskier and probably a bit more hard-edged. It was a bit of a Wild West. And, you know, brands wanted it, but then were never brave enough really to flick the switch.
Right.
And they always saw the risk, particularly in who's going to monitor the comments overnight, where's this going to go, how's it going to reflect, and you would always find someone in the business that would make it really hard. You know, you'd come in and say, okay, they'd get you in, say, oh, we want a video that's going to spread, we want a video that's really going to have an impact, and you'd spend 6 weeks developing it and working on it, and then, you know, probably at 5 weeks and 6 days, someone would sit down and say, oh, you know what, we just want to tweak this and tweak that. And you sort of sit there and go, well, it's not going to work.
No.
If you change all that, you change it. And really, you've changed it so much, I don't want to put my name to it.
Right.
You know,
and
it's not going to work.
And that would take the
hard.
viralness. You would take the viralness out of it, I'm assuming, then.
Yeah.
The whole thing.
The virability.
The virability, thank you. That's awesome.
If that's even a word, we're just making it up.
That's why it's an awesome word. I like it way better than one I picked, so I'll stick with it. So.
Yeah, and you know, so since 2012, that's, you know, February 2012 is when I started really getting into it. So we're talking 7 years, and brands are still not there.
Yeah.
I think what people have to understand, particularly, you know, you've built a great community. Like, it's amazing how many people you got in your community.
Well, thank you.
But those people in your community, and including yourselves and us over here at CreatorCast, and if you're not following CreatorCast, get on.
Yes.
Because we are a good bunch of lads, and we're trying hard. The beauty of where we are is we're actually pioneers.
Mm-hmm.
We think we've been doing this forever, and we think that, you know, this is just the same old, same old. But you guys, if you guys keep going at what you're doing for, say, another 2 or 3 years, you're going to be in a completely different space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you won't be smoking normal cigarettes. You'll be smoking from a cigar or a pipe.
I won't be allowed to smoke at all because they'll say, "Oh, we don't want to endorse you unless you have a cigarette in your mouth." That's where that's going.
For
yeah,
smoking.
exactly.
Well, then by then we're going to be sponsored by somebody. So.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, there's things coming in 3 years we don't even know the names of yet.
Right.
We've never lived in a world where everything is so blind and coming so fast at us as we do right now, and it's only getting faster and more blind into it. So my processor I bought it, and I looked up the history, and they're planned till 2023 already in different sizes of developments. You know, and that's the world we live into in a nutshell. Everything is like that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's the whole DVD debate, or CD versus DVDs. They had Blu-ray, but the thing was they had to let DVDs sit around for a while so they could get a return on their investment.
Yeah, exactly.
So they held off the launch of Blu-ray. Not to mention, where's Blu-ray even gone now? Like,
that was a short window. That was a very short window.
Like, seriously, like, it's actually scary. I was on stage yesterday speaking at an event, and I mentioned Blu-ray, and yeah, it really struck me as like, holy guacamole, gone.
Yep. And it was released the same kind of feat as of a DVD or as VHS or cassette. It was released with that kind of fanfare, but it was such a short window, it actually was around. You're right.
It's so much shorter lifespan nowadays for anything that comes up new.
Except storytelling.
Yes.
That's right.
It's the one constant. And that's, you know, that's because it's, you know, we're getting a little bit deep into the psychology here, but it's because it's instinctively in human brains.
That's right.
So it's just how you tell the story that's changing. And that's, you know, that's my wheelhouse. That's where I sit. It's what I love. Okay, how, you know, I love the creativity of the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can never underestimate it. You know, whenever I work with brands, I say, stop trying to come up with the idea. Stop trying to come up with the piece of gold, and actually engage your followers and the people who love your brand to do it, because they will come up with something so much better than any of us sitting in this room can come up with.
So true.
100,000 brains, much better than 10.
That is so true.
It
I
is
love
true.
that.
Yeah. It's very true. And I think we kind of see a little of grassroots of that with our audience here, because with the Blue Run Troop selfies now, which came up as a complete fluke, and people just took it and ran with it. Like, we didn't tell them to do that. They just started doing it by themselves, and now it has become a growing a staple
where we use it in our merch. You know, people know us by it, and it's all the people feel a part of it, and that's always what I'm saying is everybody needs to feel like they got something out of it. They need to belong, and then when they do feel like they belong, it's nice to see them running with it and kind of making it not their own running away with it, but making it more and more special by them bringing to it. It's cool.
Yeah. Whether you're allowing people to contribute rather than just being passive viewers. And that's the beauty of the internet, the power, and even viral videos. Viral videos don't work if you just passively view it.
Right.
But that's the difference between a blockbuster movie and a viral video.
That's,
Blockbuster movie, you can sit there and you passively view it and you get up and you leave.
yeah.
Viral video, you actually need the audience, you actually need the followers, your fans, to spread it.
That's
you need
right.
to trigger that physical response. Now that physical response, because I know that I'm leaving open curiosity loops here.
Yeah.
People are going to say, well, what's that loop? The response of sharing, really, to be honest, inside the brain is in exactly the same spot that makes you cry in a movie. So it's the same switch, different physical response. And I say this all the time, put up your hand if you've ever cried in a movie. And the second question is why?
Yeah.
They're actors. They didn't die. But it's not what your brain's telling you. And so viral videos work off a similar wavelength in a way, a similar pattern. It's just that the response is different.
So that's like when somebody sees a video, and we see that a lot, like on Facebook and stuff, and they see it and right away. Their first instinct is, "Oh, I got to send it to my mother. Oh, I got to send this to my friends. They got to see this." Is that because it's triggered that emotion and kind of put them into that area that they're already thinking of where it's got to go next?
Yeah, it's a moment of peak relevance, and sometimes that's ego as well. So for me, I'm a massive Star Wars Lego fan. Like, I love Star Wars, but I really love Star Wars Lego, and my main man is Boba Fett.
Oh,
He's always with me, right? This is the Boba Fett I got for my 9th birthday. The bounty hunter's always hung around with me. Jeremy Bullock, the actor who played Boba Fett, has actually held this guy.
No way.
Yeah, so he means a lot to me. So whenever anything comes into my feed that's Star Wars related, I will check it for quality control, basically, and then share it. Here's the thing. If anyone else in my circle dares share Star Wars stuff before me, I'm almost offended. It's like, no, don't come creeping in onto my patch. I'm the Star Wars guy. There's only room for one of me. And so it just accelerates the rate that I have to review something and share it.
Right.
That speeds it up. So it's almost a competitive nature.
Yes.
And we all have that in us. We all want to be known for something or have a love for something.
Definitely.
And yeah, it's what I call a moment of peak relevance. So if you come across a piece of content that hits you at a moment of peak relevance, and a great example of moments of peak relevance are Super Bowl ads. They only happen at the Super Bowl. They get millions and millions of views because they're Super Bowl ads.
Right.
But it has me asking in the questions, well, if these videos work really well online at the time of the Super Bowl, why don't you make them like that all the time?
Yeah.
Instead of spending millions of dollars on 30-second commercials where you simply yell at us or tell us how good you are.
But that's a question I would like to ask you, and I was thinking about this in the last Super Bowl ads. Are they soon to become, then you think, a thing of the past? Like, will the Super Bowl ads, are they slowly dying out, and it's going to be more the internet-based ones? Because it was just hype built around, because of the super ads that were great, because it was during the Super Bowl, they were great.
The beauty of the Super Bowl is that, the way the algorithms work, and you'd know this, is you can get a real spike in,
of course,
views quick.
Yes.
But the value for the brands is actually online in the 2 weeks leading up to the Super Bowl. If you notice, Super Bowl ads only, 2014, you couldn't get them online before the Super Bowl. Like, they were a hidden secret.
Yes.
And the world's changed now, even with my sort of information. I used to hoard my IP around what I know and not share it online. I would tease it and then say, my business model was, if you want to know the real deal, you got to pay me.
Right.
Straight up and down. Super Bowl ads are now waking up. No, share the information, because there is so much information out there. But if you want the real life experience, you've got to pay for me to be in the room.
Right.
That's how I operate. Super Bowl ads are the same. Here are the videos. We let them out a couple of weeks before because we know people are hungry for them, and we've spent a lot of money, so we want to get as much reach as possible. All the news sites and commentary sites will seed them out and spread them and put them to more eyeballs. But it's when they go to air in the Super Bowl is when, that's what they pay for the money. Because if they didn't pay for them to be in the Super Bowl, they'd never get all the pre-exposure because it wouldn't be a Super Bowl ad.
That's why even some of them do like 3-tier advertising leading up to the Super Bowl ad, and that is to build as much hype and fanfare around it as possible.
Now, I haven't seen the outcome of the Instagram egg. Now, for someone who's supposed to know all about internet trends and stuff, I've been so busy the last few days, I haven't had a chance to work out what the Instagram egg was, but I presume it was linked to the Super Bowl, just from the timing of it. True or not true?
Well, I'm not sure, but I don't think so, though, because it was just one of the celebrities posted, I think it was one of the Kardashians, that posted a picture of an egg as a response to a viral tweet that was made by one of, I think, Japanese or Chinese oligarchs that basically made viral his tweet by saying that the first 10 people that are gonna, random 10 people that are gonna retweet this are gonna get $10,000. So
no, I think it was something different. I think it was, here's Kylie Jenner, who's a Kardashian, who's got the most likes on a photo on Instagram. Mm-hmm. Let's get an egg. Let's make this egg the most liked photo on Instagram. So it was almost trolling her.
Yeah, that's what I remember from Phil DeFranco that time. Yes, to outdo her because, to try and knock.
But no one knew who was behind it. And then it started to crack. So the photos started to change. Yes. Really close to the Super Bowl. And that really piqued my interest. So I'm like, oh, no, this isn't a coincidence. Like, people are too clever. Yeah. I just didn't see the outcome because we don't get the American ads here in our Super Bowl.
Right. Yeah. Well, the same as in Canada. Now we're starting to get a bit more. That used to go on here all the time. We're right beside each other, and we get these god awful like secondary equivalents, and we wouldn't see.
They're not even the premium ads in Australia. They're like just Joe's Car Trader.
Yeah, exactly. Visit Ontario. It's like something generic like this. Like, God, we're really getting
support the guide dogs.
Yeah, exactly. So we really got ripped off on that one. So
the same.
It's getting a bit better now, thank God. So, that is true though, and it was so much hype, and it ends up like I was just saying on Phil DeFranco, all these places. It just shows you how these things really do get their own legs, and with enough coverage and enough sharing, something as basic as that can really turn the internet up on its heels.
Yeah, well, people are, they're so clever now, and I've only ever worked in TV. That was my first ever job was in television. Wow. Straight out of university, worked for Channel 9, which was the #1 channel here in Australia, still is, and my first job was commercial inventory manager. Now, Kushnia, I want you to try and guess what a commercial inventory manager does.
Warehouse work?
Huh?
Warehouse?
Warehouse work? No.
No, I know the answer, so I can't guess.
What's the answer?
You were watching through the advertisements?
Correct. She's been doing her research. My job was to watch every ad and approve it before it went to air. Oh. Now, I did that for 2 years. 8,246 hours of my life watching ads.
That's a serious research right there.
Yes.
Yeah. But I became really fine-tuned to what's annoying and really fine-tuned about what's connecting and resonating down the track.
Yeah.
And I've lost why I actually am heading down this path. But really lost my way. So that was me in TV. So that's where I started, just watching ads. So I became really intrinsic about what brands wanted, and then how TV, wanted to make sure it was scrutinized and not going to be detrimental to the shows. Then I became a journalist. So I started telling other people's stories, and I started using advertising tricks in the stories that I was making.
Right.
Which was really cool. The problem is now the internet, it's multi-dimensional. It's not TV, I'd sort of say, 2-dimensional. There's a show, the price you pay for the show is you've got to watch 3 minutes of ads every 7 minutes. And they're banking on humans being lazy, so lazy they're not going to change the channel, or they're so into the show they don't want to miss the show.
Right.
But with the internet now, it's completely different. You can have a campaign that goes across multi-platforms. It can start on Instagram and end on YouTube.
Yeah.
It's almost like a choose your own adventure. And we all know how good they were as books when we were kids. Did you read the Choose Your Own Adventure books, Andrew?
Yeah, yes, I did. Yes, and I'm thinking, what a great connection to all that. It is true. It's a very good analogy for it.
Yeah, and what we're going to get in the next couple of years, I'm predicting it right now, is we're going to get Choose Your Own Adventure TV. Yeah. You're going to get Choose Your Own Adventure videos. Mm-hmm. IRL streamers are, almost down that path. Jay Boston the other day, you've had him on the show. He was here. He went out on his skateboard and his electric skateboard as he likes to do. And it was like, I'm going to let you guys choose my direction. Oh, sadly, he had some technical issues with his GoPro, but that's where we're heading.
That's a cool concept.
Yeah, there's people that are using IFFT app that actually in the chats, whereby giving depending on what kind of amount of money super chat you give, it activates the do this and it does that. So it can make your toaster work, or it could make your Alexa start talking. So basically, viewers make your home interactive while you're live, which is pretty neat.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I've got one light, which is my key light here, which is Siri controlled, and my youngest, who's about 9, has realized that there's a spooky mode. And so she tells Siri to put it on spooky mode, and it flashes and makes it look like a haunted house. Oh, yeah. Makes it pretty hard when you're in here trying to write a book and all of a sudden the light comes on and it's all haunted house. Get all epileptic.
Yes, the joys of parenthood, isn't it? I had a question from Sticky Buzz. Did you work with Will Anderson on the Gruen transfers?
The Gruen transfer? No, the Gruen transfer, for those who don't know, is a show in Australia that reviews the advertising industry. And Will Anderson's a comedian, and he gets advertising people, and it's quite edgy and clever, and they look at the good campaigns and the bad campaigns. It's a really cool show. I'd love to be on it one day, particularly when it moves to social, or just do a similar version of it online, focused on viral videos. But it's
well, you sound like you'd be an awesome fit for it.
Yeah,
I'm surprised they haven't been knocking on your door already, to be honest. They should be. So,
Can we roll a little bit back and talk about how did you get to the answer of the recipe of the viral videos? Like, where did you get that knowledge of what is the psychological mechanism?
You did the 2 years of reviewing like the ads and stuff like that, which I got wrong. I figured it was one of those trick government jobs, like the name.
Yeah.
That's why I said I'm not going to get caught this time. I'm actually going to take a real stab at it, which I was way off.
It's really funny, the way I got that job is the TV stations used to do like influx days, and you'd get a whole lot of people come and apply for a whole lot of different jobs.
Oh.
Right. So it wasn't just one job. So I didn't know what job I was going for. They just sort of profile you, and then I was lucky enough that they rang me and they said, would like you to start on Monday. And this was like a Thursday. I'm like, okay, cool. I didn't even ask what the job was. Remember, and my mum's like, you better get a suit, and you better get you're going into a big and she bought me a leather sachet. Now have a look at me. Do I look like a guy that's ever carried a leather sachet in his life, right? So I'm in my dad's oversized suit, and I go into this big TV station, which was in an old piano factory in Melbourne, magnificent building, and iconic for Australia. And I remember getting in there, and my dad took me. It was like first day of school stuff, right? And they said, what's the you're here, you're the commercial inventory manager. And my dad looked at me and goes, what is that? And I said, well, I don't know. I'll find out. And so it led me to this room, and I had to watch all the ads. So for me, the journey, so let's jump through the journey of how I went. So I went from TV sales and commercials and understanding how they made money, but it wasn't my thing. I was a storyteller. Since the age of sort of 12 or 13, I was always into storytelling. I was the kid in the street that was trying to make videos or hosted his own radio show. I grew up in a street in basically middle-class Australia where we had 18 kids. So when I was 8 or 9, we had about 18 kids under the age of 16 in the street. And we were sort of like a cul-de-sac sort of street. So there's no through traffic. So it was just bike territory. We're just always riding our bikes or playing in the street. And yeah, you get those days. We used to play this game where you draw chalk lines on the footpath and make it a road, and every nature strip in front of a house would be a different shop, and you try and you just live life as an adult on your bike, and you'd have bad guys and policemen and lemonade stands and all that sort of stuff. And I think one day I came out and there was like, I don't know, 5 kids with lemonade stands, and I was like, how much bad lemonade can you drink in a day? And I thought, well, I'm going to be really clever here. I'm going to start a radio station. And I over time, that was the idea, and it took a few weeks to make it come to life. But I actually went to an electronics store and bought a spy kit. Now, it was basically a listening device where you made it yourself. It was like $15, which back then was a lot. And basically, it was a spy kit to spy on your sisters. I didn't have a sister, but you'd put it in a room and you'd tune your radio into it, and you could hear what was being said in the room.
Right.
So I was like, oh, hold on a minute. I could actually amp this up a bit. I was lucky enough that in front of my house was a fire hydrant, so I set this thing up on a fire hydrant, and I had my ghetto blaster running off big
the D-cell batteries, yes,
D-cell batteries, and I would basically broadcast my music into this listening device, and all the kids would go and get their Walkmans, because it was 1985. Walkmans were the thing, and basically I ran a radio station. And what I did is I got all the lemonade stand guys to come and pay me in lemonade to run ads and talk about their product. So I was always into broadcasting. I was always into communicating and messaging.
Oh my God, that's an awesome story. That is so out of the box. I love it.
Yeah. So, here I was. I had more lemonade than I ever wanted to do. But that was where I was at. And so I was always a storyteller. And I remember when I was at school, you'd get to the later years of high school and you'd have the meeting with the careers teacher. And I went to a pretty good school here in Melbourne called Melbourne High, which is a pretty cool school to get into. It's a select entry sort of thing for people. It's not private or anything like that, but it acts like a private school. And I remember it's all high achiever sort of people. I don't know how I got there. It was just lucky, I think.
Well, I think if you had your own radio station at 12, the answer is pretty obvious.
Snuck my way in there. And I remember saying, what do you want to be? And I said, I want to be a TV reporter. And they said, you be a sports reporter. I said, no, I don't want to be a sports reporter. I said, yeah, everyone wants to be a sports reporter. It's too predictable. And they said, what do you want to do? I said, I don't care as long as I'm telling different people's stories every day. I said, that's how I get my fuel. I love meeting new people. And so if I could just meet new people every day, and then the bit that I get paid for is telling their story, then that's what I want to do.
Right.
So basically at that time, the Australian TV industry was going through aggregation. So basically they were all merging. And, the sort of person I was is that I couldn't go on the government channels because they were sort of like a little bit left wing for me. There was a commercial channel here that sort of wasn't sort of a fit for me either. So basically I had 2 channels I could choose from. And when I sat down with my dad and said, okay, how many jobs are there that you would fit into as a journalist? Let's work it out. And I think we counted there was 32 positions on the east coast of Australia. And that's basically harder than playing in the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
And getting in an NFL team.
Most definitely.
And basically everyone was just saying, nah, you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. And I just said, well, yeah, I am. And so basically I just started working for free at TV stations in the country every Easter and September holidays. And then went to Tasmania, which is where Mark Ensby's from.
Yeah.
I don't think you see it in the map down there at the bottom of Australia. That's Tasmania. So I moved to Tasmania, left my girlfriend at the time behind in Melbourne. She's my wife, so it ended well. Went there for 2 years and then switched to Adelaide, which is in the Great Australian Bight where the big white sharks are, and then came back to Melbourne and spent 12 years as a TV reporter here in Melbourne. But I wanted to do sort of more investigative stuff. I was a news reporter to start with, and being a news reporter is 90% what happens and 10% creative.
Right.
And I wanted more creative control. So I switched to a show called Today Tonight, which is a current affairs sort of investigator show. which didn't take itself too seriously. It was all about, how shocking you could be to get as many viewers as possible. And it's widely renowned in Australia as the worst show that was ever on TV. But I happily, I defend it. I say, it used to help so many people who'd fallen through the cracks.
Right.
People who had maybe spent their life savings building a house, and then the builder did a bad job and then skipped away. Yeah. And the courts, they didn't have enough money to go to court, or, someone had, chatted them up online and stolen their life savings, and the police would be like, well, there's not much we can do because you gave him the money. So, there was a lot of good in it.
Right.
It was just, the way that it used to justify itself was a bit too sensationalized.
Right.
But while I was doing that job, I started probably about 2009, I really started to take notice of YouTube. And that was at a time when the networks handed out Blackberries. They did a deal with Blackberries, and we all got Blackberry phones. The big ones with the keypads and the little ball. I wish I still had it, but they took it back off me.
Our pride of Canada.
Our pride here.
Yeah. They were a great phone, and that was the first phone that really connected to the internet properly for us. Right. And when you work on these investigation shows, you spend a lot of time sitting around. Yeah. Like I could spend 3 or 4 days in a car outside someone's house waiting for them to come out so that we could pounce on them with the camera, right? Jeez. So, of course, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Got a Blackberry in hand, yes.
I reckon in 2009 I watched every video on YouTube. There was nothing left for me. And, I was racking up. I remember I got called in once with the bill, the data bill, because data was like $1 a meg or whatever it was in Australia. So I think at one stage there was a bill that was up around the tens of thousands that I didn't have to pay it. I just had to convince them it was research. But what I used to do is I started to see these videos where, here I was in TV land spending lots of money producing 4-minute videos, and I'd get, we'd probably get 1 million viewers a night, Australia-wide. And we're only a population of 22 million. So it's not bad, 1 in 22 people. But then there were these kids with really bad handycams getting 2 or 3 million views with no production values. And my brain was starting to say, well, what is it? What's happening? And back then, 2009, viral videos were luck. That's all anyone ever said. Luck, 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 luck. And I'm, being an investigator, don't believe in it. Like, I wasn't buying the luck business at all.
There was a science there. There was a science there. You want to know what there was.
Yeah, there has to be something.
Yeah.
There has to be something. Now, there are some anomalies. And if anyone's seen Nyan Cat, the cat that jumps through space, goes for 17 hours, doesn't do anything other than the repeated whatever. I mean, that in itself, the actual virality of Nyan Cat is outside the video. And that's the trick for people sometimes, is that they want the virality to be in the video.
Yeah.
But sometimes it's the pre-story or the after story or the outside story that makes it viral. So in about 2009 and 10, I started looking at these online videos, and I started incorporating what was happening in viral videos in my TV stories. And while I wasn't getting any extra viewers on TV, what I was getting was better feedback. So I was getting more chatter. So when I'd go out with my friends or whatever, I was really taking note of the stories that they'd seen or watched from mine. And I'm like, okay, they're the bits that you're triggering. They're the bits that are piquing your interest.
Right.
And by 2012, I decided that, TV's, there's no more fun in it anymore. It's getting harder. It's getting tougher. And social media is on the rise. And I'm always wanting to play on the up rising tide. And if I could get on early enough, I thought there could be something in there. Now, when I left, my plans and my business Virable was to start a viral video production company, very similar to the Harmon Brothers. The Harmon Brothers weren't around at the time, but that's what I wanted to do. And I thought after 15 years of TV, I'd be pretty good at telling other people's stories in a way that was infectious.
Right.
And what's the best way to launch a viral video production company?
Launch a viral video?
Yeah. So I spent a lot of money making a viral video that no one watched or no one shared. They watched it, they didn't share it. And so I thought, hold on, there's something I'm missing here. So I went into research mode, and I started talking to psychologists, human behaviorists, marketers, film directors. I actually had a conversation with James Cameron at one stage about it.
Nice.
I was very lucky. I went on a junket for Sony when Avatar went to Blu-ray, and I got to interview him. And rather than interviewing him about the story I was supposed to write, I spent half my time asking him about how to hold people's attention for 3 hours like he'd just done. And basically at the end of it, with all my research, I started to see a pattern. And what I was actually hunting for originally was very different with what I came out with. I wanted a one-script-fits-all viral solution.
Right.
I wanted the easy out.
The mold.
I want the model to make viral videos every time. Because imagine how much money you could print on that, right? That was it. But what I discovered is it doesn't exist.
Right.
But what does exist is a DNA. So there's a pattern, and there's what I call a viral sequence that viewers have to go through before you can trigger them to act. Now, the first one is relevance. So you got to be highly relevant, or they're not going to stop and watch. The next thing is you got to have a connection, and the connection comes from storytelling values.
Right.
So you got to learn how to tell your stories in a way that the human brain's ready to file them away. Now, humans have been telling stories since before they had farms. They've been writing them on walls, in caves, and the structures of stories stay about the same. Walt Disney changed the structure a little bit, and he changed it for the better. But, you can go back to Aristotle and the 3-act play, and basically you've got the structure for every popular vine that was ever made. Yeah, that was their formula. But people just don't realize that these things have been around for a long time.
Right.
And then basically what happened is once I found this viral DNA, what I realized is that it all starts with the individual or the brand. Where are they, and what stories do they have to tell from the position they're in? So it comes from a real position of brand, what I call brand story clarity. So think of a brand like Red Bull, right?
Yep.
And picture the type of content that they make. You already know, you've got an assumed learning or assumed knowledge of what their next videos are already going to be like.
Yep.
And you know whether that connects with you or not.
Yep.
So there's this assumed knowledge. People don't come to viral videos for surprise and delight. They come to viral videos because they trust, they know what they're going to get, and they know that they like it.
Yeah, I agree.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
So what actually ended up happening after all this research that I did, I wrote a formula. That's it right there. Can you see it?
Yep.
So it's on this scorecard. So what happened with this formula is I sat there and I'm like, okay, these things, I'm getting this score. And I was sitting in this room, actually, it was like 2:00 in the morning. And I just had this moment of like, hold on a minute. And I had everything was just butcher's paper with all these videos and different things, all these features that every video had. What happened at the 4-second mark, what happened at the 8-second mark, what happened at the 30-second mark. Are there structures, yes or no? And I started to score it down. And I came up with this. And basically what I started to do with this scorecard was market research. So I thought the best way to do this is to get into the big brands and the banks and say, you know what? If a supermarket's going to launch their own home brand of cereal, they don't just launch it. They test it. They market test it. So they sit people in a room, dark room, and they've got to eat the cereal. And until the cereal scores in the top 1 or 2, they keep changing the recipe until they get 1 or 2, and then they release it.
Right.
So I started doing this with video. Sit in a room, 100 people in your key demographic, play them the video. If they score over 80 out of 100 on this formula, I know that they'll share it. Not a perfect science, but within 87% accuracy. So what we're doing is we'd sit there and these banks would go and spend, I don't know, a couple $100,000 on a 30-second ad that they thought was going to really work on YouTube, and would get the scorecards out, and they'd score in the 30s and the 40s. And you'd say, your video's not going to work. And that was a good business, because then we could reverse engineer the formula and say, this is what you need to change. And so that went really well until one day a head of a marketing department at one of the big banks here in Australia said, well, and I think the creative concept of this video is pretty close to her heart. I think it was her idea. And she said, well, your market research is good, but it would have been a lot handier if you'd been able to tell us before we spent the money making the video than telling us after the fact.
Right.
And that was, boom.
Light bulb.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
So that's when I started the spread factor formula, where I now work with brands reverse engineering this. So what are the stories you need to tell, and how do you need to tell them to trigger the response or the action that you need? Now, for some people, for some brands, it's 1 million views. Yeah, they just want the exposure. But for other brands, it can be 100 views. You got another assistant?
Yes, that's our 12-year-old production assistant in charge of quenching it. We'll give him a fancy title for that.
It's just a 12-year-old that just gets ignored for 6 days a week for 3 hours at a time.
Yes, and takes care of his younger sister and helps us with coffee. And I don't know what we do without him. We miss him the day we're on in the afternoon because we don't have any coffee.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
He's very good.
He even takes care of our Discord. I got to give him full props for everything he does for us.
Good. He needs a credit on the bottom of the show.
Yes, I agree.
He does.
I agree on that one.
Absolutely. So so then that's the formula where it switches out, and then I started using it with brands, and it was going really well. But for me, I'm a sharer. Yeah, everything I do is I share information. Yeah, and I'm not a great business person, that's for sure. And so I've had a few people who are great business people saying, you know what, you've got to get some structures around this. You just can't go and spend a day somewhere and not get paid for it, right, and turn their businesses around. So we turned this into an online course, which allows it to be accessed for everybody. It's a good use of my time. And then we do one-on-ones. But where the growth really is now is on the speaking circuit. So particularly this year, there's been a lot of interest for me on the speaking circuit, and I love doing that because I get paid to share.
Which is really cool. I mean, it's a whole new chapter in life. It's amazing how you're having all this now. Like, it's kind of celebrating all these things you've picked up over the years. And I mean, that's where real knowledge comes from. Nothing comes overnight. It is gained over time and experience and learning. And, it must be an exciting time in your life to finally take all these things, package them, and actually one-on-one in these talks, get to see the look in people's eyes as you connect with them, open them up to new ideas, new ways of thinking. It must be very rewarding.
7 years to be an overnight success. I've got a book written, haven't had time to get it out. Like my promise to myself was that I'd have it done by the 26th of January this year, which is Australia Day. I didn't get it done because just all of a sudden I did one speaking event before Christmas, and just boom. And it's my home. Yeah, it's my home place. Like, I flew to Sydney yesterday for 3 hours to talk for 45 minutes, and I was walking on air. Yeah, I'm so lucky that people want to even listen. Particularly when you look at my social media channels. If we're talking about social media abilities, my YouTube channel is an example of what not to do on YouTube. I talk about this stuff and I research this stuff, and I get some criticism and called out for a lot of times that here you are talking about viral videos and all that sort of stuff, but you don't, you got videos with less than 100 views. And it's like, I don't do YouTube the way that it needs to be done for it to be successful. There's, consistency is one thing, and growth, like you guys, you do 6 nights a week for a reason. Yeah. You're nurturing a community.
Yeah. That's right.
And you're making it a priority in your lives. There's other things you could be doing for sure, but this is what you want to do, and that's great. For me, I like making my own videos.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit of a selfish thing. It's sort of an outlet for me.
Right.
But I've also got a production company where I make other people's videos. So sometimes I can go 2 weeks. I can, be involved in cutting 10 to 15 videos, and the last thing I want to do on the weekend is pick up another camera.
Well, that's the thing. I get where you're, like us. Well, we started this channel was to promote our actual business, Pusa Studios. This was just to do cinematics to build the name. And now I don't get to do it much anymore, and I kind of miss it. But same thing. I'm doing it for other people as contracts and that. But personal wise, it's slowed down a lot. I love what I'm doing here, but there's only so many hours in the day. And like you say, after it, sometimes, even though I love it with all my heart, it's hard to sit down in front and say, okay, now let's edit for a couple hours. It's
and it's so easy to be lazy, right?
Yes.
I'm not lazy, but it's so easy to do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels so good.
Mm-hmm. It is rewarding. Well, the
Particularly when you
interviews, the shows at 6 nights a week is easily over 40 some hours, especially with the interviews through the winter and stuff like that. There's a lot of booking, a lot of research, a lot of scouting, all those things. It takes up a large majority of the time. So, it's worth it. I love doing it. Don't get me wrong.
Just meeting you guys, watching you guys. I remember the first time I saw you guys. I think it was when Danny Black was on,
Right?
And I was sitting outside a house where my daughter was having piano lessons, and I reckon you guys were 1,000 subscribers, maybe, like early days.
A couple more than that, but not too much.
Maybe a bit more than that.
Maybe 3.
I think 3, something
some
like
in that part. Yeah.
But I remember being fascinated by just the stream of comments, engagement, and I was like, "Look at what this is." And you guys are really interesting, and I love it because you're different in the sense that, I'm talking to I'm arguing basically with people in the crowd at an event yesterday about they're saying videos shouldn't be any more than 60 seconds long, and I'm saying, well, what's the average watch time on YouTube? YouTube want to optimize you at 10 minutes. Facebook Watch wants 15, 30, 60, or 90 minutes, right? And you're sitting there saying 60 seconds. You can go back to 2014 whenever you want. Right? But you guys, you guys run a 20-minute intro.
Yeah.
You populate your chat. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. And tell, I don't know if you've explained this to the group, Andrew, and I apologize if you have, but explain why. Why have you done that?
Yeah, I was just telling you why. Exactly. We kept looking, and more people were coming in for our streams early, and I would see everybody talking, and thought, well, if they're already in there, let's give them something to look at. Let's make it more entertaining. And I've always been in music a lot of my life, and I believe in the pre-show is always a great way to build up energy and stuff like that. So we decided to put a timer onto it. It was nothing fancy. It didn't need to be. It was just to build up some amp up the show. So by the time we got on, people were already ready to go, and they had said hi to each other. They joined each other's channels, whatever they had to do, and then we're ready to cut it. And you didn't walk into an empty house, because at a live streams, that's the part I found the hardest, was always starting off with nobody in. Even once they would pop in right away, you would always have that bit of angst. But now tonight, like when we were going on, we were at 75.
Yeah.
And there 75 are in the chat when you go and say hi for the first time. It just gave more dynamic to the show, more return to the viewer, which made them, I guess, feel more connected to it, I hope. So that was kind of the goal.
Yeah. I mean, it's awesome because, I think in CreatorCast, there's a bit of a competition to be first.
Right.
The first person in writes first. And, and Mark Ensby, you know Mark?
Yes.
You have Mark on? Yeah, so Mark Ensby, great guy. He gives away, he's got a scoring system. Whoever's first gets 10 points, and if you're second, you get 5. And every week he updates his leaderboard. Yeah, clever.
That is.
I give away Zuckbucks because I usually stream on Facebook rather than YouTube.
Oh, Zuckbucks.
So I give away Zuckbucks, and I was actually at an event the other week, and there was someone in the crowd saying, I think they answered the first question. They said, I want my Zuckbucks. And I was like, I haven't streamed since Christmas. And the Zuckbucks, it's these little connections that this is the power of it. And we're just at the beginning. It's crazy.
We hit 5,000 just before Christmas, and we kind of amped it up. I put my foot in my mouth and said, let's do it. And we were 200, almost 300 away.
Yeah, 300, yeah.
So I said to everybody, instead of asking for a go out and tell people to come and watch us, I said, and we thought of that like within 5 minutes of going on.
Yeah.
Because I always, I think like you, I always believe in a watcher appreciation and watcher involvement. So we went on and said it, guys, if you can do a shout out video for us, we're setting up a playlist on our homepage where we're going to feature all of it that you do. And at the end, we're going to draw one, and they're going to get an interview in the new year. It's an exclusive interview just for you. And we got 280 in 3 days. Monday night till Wednesday evening, I think we hit 280 subscribers.
Yeah, and there were videos and reshared videos. Oh my God.
Tweeted,
crazy.
and it was unbelievable. They were pouring in like that. And that's always been our model, is it's not just us. We're always a community. Working as a group. The blue wrench signifies a group, a co-op.
And how good were some of those videos?
Oh, some of them were really like
People were messing with
cinematically made.
Oh my God, I was up
videos.
all night. I got it ready. I can't wait for you to see it. We were
Yeah.
getting tweets, like DMs the next morning. You got to come
Some of
check
them
it
were
out.
just shout outs. Some of them, you know, just the camera on, and some of them were really like edited videos. And we had like I think 15 or 20 videos, and I mean I don't know how many live streams with shout outs, but those videos got shared out everywhere, and it was so crazy.
And it was heartwarming. You know, it was like a victory together. You know, instead of saying, make it all about me, let's make it all about us. They got more coverage. We were showing them each night which ones were doing it, giving them. Everything has to be. Nobody's asking for it. It's not their selfish. Everybody needs to walk away feeling like they got something out of it. It's like
Yeah, they won't
human
come
nature.
back.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and I think that's you guys have had that from the start. You've got that. You know, I remember the first time I commented on one of your chats. All of a sudden, I got you, I got you, I got you, I got you, and you guys actually got me over 100 subscribers. I remember, and I remember ringing Danny, going, I just got all these, I just got 15 subscribers, like far out, and I was like, are they legit? I'm like, I'm not sure. Yeah, they're there, and I've ended up talking to some and commenting to some. So yeah, you guys are great. You guys have got something here that a lot of people want. Brands really want. They don't get this community stuff.
Right.
They don't get it.
Yes, I agree. And I don't like that hierarchy levels. Keep everybody as even as possible. That's the wrenches, like I say, was a great example. I just blew a gasket one night and just gave everybody wrenches. I would say I look like Oprah on a fit, handing them out to everybody. And it just grew from there, which then became the Selfie Blue Wrench Group. And everything always has to focus. And anytime somebody gives a compliment, I always return it with a compliment. Oh, you guys are awesome. Well, we wouldn't be awesome if it wasn't for great people like you in the chat. Because it's true.
I think,
You know,
for
it's-
example, YouTube doesn't itself caught on the live streaming part, because see, there is like two parts. People are making videos, and then, well, sometimes they're live streaming. All our content is live show.
Yeah.
We could record it and then release it, but it's live. The same as late night show, is live, the live audience, basically. And I think everybody's talking about, well, how to optimize videos, how to promote videos, but very small amount of people, and almost none, is talking about how to grow a live show with an audience that is there, which has huge impact of what we're talking about. The influencer stuff is right one-on-one at the time of the show. And YouTube has grown its live stream from, like, I think it was 12% the year before. It's 15%. So it's growing every year, but still, I find that videos is already a thing of the past, and the live streaming is the way to look into the future.
Yeah, I think what we're seeing is an evolution.
Yes.
Live streaming's interesting because live streaming can be as easy as you want or as hard as you want.
Yes.
It's got greater extremes.
Yes.
We're vlogging or making how-to videos or evergreen content. Yeah, sort of sits in that middle range for difficulty now. Like
Yes.
my 11-year-old, she plays hockey, not ice hockey, field hockey, and every week they have to make a video to play at school, which tells them a little bit about themselves, right? To share with their new classmates.
That's so cool.
It's because of school year. But she is shooting a video about her playing hockey. She's got a DJI stabilizer. She's got a drone, and she's got 3 cameras. And she's cutting it all on her iPad.
Production
Wow.
company on one person.
She has it in her
Right.
blood.
Yes, exactly.
Well, yeah, I've always promised my kids there's 2 things I'm going to teach them that school won't. 1, how to sell stuff online, and 2, how to make content. 'Cause if you master those 2 things before you leave school, you're future-proofed.
Yes, that is so true. And we are, I keep telling people that YouTube, social media, we are our lives at social media. There's no more working at one job till we retire and get a pension. We are living that multi-stream world now in the way we represent ourselves. We are a brand in life because we're always going to be marketing to a new place because we're usually not going to be there for very long. And it's just the world we live into. We live as if we're in social media at this point.
So can I ask your community a question? Because I've got something that I'm wrestling with.
Sure.
Floor
Go
is
ahead.
free.
So I've got my channel, It's not a great channel, but it's got a few vlogs on there. It's got a bit of me on there. And I'm really wrestling with the live streaming. And a lot of the guys that I'm around, so Danny and Mark and a few of the others, they live stream, but they went and set up a separate channel just for live streams. And my battle is, do I live stream on my channel, which is Creaky, or do I live stream on another channel, Jonathan Creek, which is more corporate? Do I separate the two or just playlist them on the one channel? I've really struggled with this for a long time.
That is a question we even went through last night again, and we get all the time now. We get asked it at least once a week, minimum, by a couple of people. Answers are starting to come in. Sticky Bud says, I was thinking the same. He's gone through that. I think it's because they're just...
Play with both.
Yeah.
I think it depends on what your audience wants.
We have our own thoughts onto it. We've said it before. I think it depends on what your audience wants exactly, Danny. Exactly.
So I think Kishnia, you touched on something really important, that you guys do a lot of relevant content, moment of peak relevance. You guys are really discussing the zeitgeist, the mood of the community every night. It's different, and
Yes.
you're moving.
That's very true.
So really, to come back and search, sure, you've got guests on that may pique interest and people might go back and search, and I'm definitely going to go back and watch the Earthworm Jim guy for sure, right?
Yep.
So that stuff works.
We also had Michael Price from Lego Star Wars, by the way. When you said that a while ago,
you
I thought
did?
Yeah, I thought of you right away.
If I was actually on my other camera, I'd show you. I've got a bench down here full of Star Wars Lego collectibles.
I love
Lego. I've got a cupboard up there. Actually, I'm not going to say that because I might get robbed. No, I've got there's none here.
There's nothing.
It's locked. It's in a storage unit somewhere.
I thought of you when you said it. That's why right away I thought of you in the moment you said that. I got to tell him after.
I'm going to watch that one too. I love Star Wars Lego.
We interviewed him at Lucasfilms too that day. He was working there.
Yeah, he was at Lucasfilms at the time, yeah.
So, sorry.
Awesome, no, crazy. So, yeah, you're talking about being this relevance, and I sort of work on that too, because viral videos or what's trending or whatever you want to say. I mean, some people criticize me for the word viral. They just don't buy into it, but I think now there's enough data to say, you know what, viral videos exist and they can be formulated. We've seen them. So let's just use that term. So I always want to talk about the latest things that are happening. And there'll be some really clever viral live streams coming soon. They're only moments away, really.
Right.
Particularly around esports and stuff like that.
Yes.
So I want to be able to do, I'm looking to do that sort of, at least one show a week around that relevant content. But how does it mix with my investigator? If you look at some of my videos, I go to McDonald's and try and work out, is McDonald's too complicated?
That was so funny. I laughed all the way through. Oh my God. For those of you that haven't seen it, and I'm sorry I interrupted you, but imagine if you have never visited McDonald's. What are you going to do going through drive-through? Like, you got to go, guys, watch it. I was laughing all the way through the video. It was hilarious.
Actually, the really good ending out of that is I've actually... the girl in the drive-through, who's in the video, it went crazy on Facebook, and because obviously Facebook's localized, and I was dumb enough to go to my local McDonald's, so now every time I drive through, I think they recognize my number plate in my car, and they're like, "Oh, look out! Has he got GoPros on his car or not?" But she actually ended up reaching out to me via a chain of events via Facebook. She actually ended up getting in touch with me, and I was like, oh no, here we go. I'm going to get in trouble here. She's going to complain that, I set her up or whatever. And she rang to thank me.
Really?
She got promoted on the back of that video for how well she dealt with me. And she now trains the other staff at different McDonald's on how to deal with drive-through customers. Isn't that good?
It is
That is
amazing.
amazing.
She was so patient. It was unbelievable.
I've never been here before. Could you imagine? Oh, is he just out of jail? Is he just out of jail? Is he just out of jail?
Well, yes.
Yeah, guys, you got to watch it.
Yeah.
It's on Jonathan's YouTube channel. Check it out. It's
Oh, here we
unbelievable.
go. Here she is. I don't know if I'm watching this on delay. I've got the YouTube on my phone here, but yeah. So I want to do more of these types of videos because if ever there's if there's something I want to investigate, I want to do it. But you can understand. You guys understand production, and it can take time for things to happen. Like I've been working on one about fake news since before Christmas, and I'm just waiting for that moment to drop it.
Right.
Yeah, it's almost that Pokemon. If you look at my Pokemon video as well, the Pokemon video is actually a test case of the spread factor formula. I had some marketing managers here that didn't believe that it was as powerful as I was saying. And so I said, okay, in the next month, I'll make a video that I'll drop at a certain time, but I'll only seed it to 100 people. And I bet you I can get over 1,000 views. And they're like, oh, if you can do that, then you can come in and pitch your business to us. And so I was sitting there. It was about 2.5 weeks, and Pokemon Go had started to take off. If you notice the date on that video, I actually waited for about 10 days. So I wasn't after the early adopters. I wanted mass market. I needed marketers and business people to say, okay, this thing is real. This thing, there's all these zombies walking around the city of Melbourne trying to catch imaginary monsters. How can we make money out of it?
Yeah.
And so that's what my video on Pokemon was about. Explaining it, fixing their problems. And within marketing circles, that video got my name spread. So viral depends what your term of viral is. Viral among marketing managers at the top end of town in Melbourne and Australia and Sydney, absolutely nailed it. Viral in terms of making me famous across the world? No, that's not what it was made for.
Right.
Yeah, and that's where people have to understand. That video probably brought me in the vicinity of $70,000 work.
Wow.
So people can say, oh, it was a failure. No one watched it. Well,
proofs in the pudding.
Exactly. Who, how many of us guys here in the chat can say that one of our videos got us $70,000 worth of work afterwards? So that's answered some of the questions in the chat there.
That is so.
I even got to meet Susan Sarandon on the back of that video.
Wow.
Funny.
Well, if that's not viral, I don't know what it is. Like you say, I'll take that over the number any day of the week.
I know. She was in town promoting some perfume or something that she'd made, and that video was triggering, and the people who were bringing her out here was like, come and make a video of her on her visits, doing her media rounds. And so we filmed it, and then she kiboshed it, didn't want it.
Really?
Yeah,
that's a star.
I got the raw files here somewhere, but I'm not allowed to use it.
Sometime 50 years down the road.
That's right. Just wait out the
couple of years. Yes. She was lovely. There was no problems with her, but yeah, I don't know. They just, production.
Well, I was thinking more about your live streams, and why don't you do like a live stream talking about what's current and do a deeper dive into it, like do your thought process and just kind of run with the flow onto it. I think that would be like hugely interesting. Your kind of own take. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I used to do a show called Brandemonium, which I did 6 episodes of it, and it was a little bit equals 3. You remember Ray William Johnson and equals 3?
No.
He used to review viral videos like kids crashing their bikes into trees and all that sort of stuff.
Kind of pioneering.
So I was doing. So I did a show that was similar to that. I'll have to find. It was on an old YouTube channel that I lost, sadly. But it was grabbing all the branded viral videos because I'm really fascinated with branded viral videos because they're the ones that are engineered to share.
Yes.
There's no doubt that they're engineered to share. If there are other videos where, someone rescues a squirrel and you're putting it back in the tree and your cat comes and eats it and you just happen to be filming, sure, you can call those ones lucky.
Yeah.
Not lucky for the squirrel, but, lucky that you're filming at the time. But viral brand of videos, and that's what this show focused on, was viral brand of videos, which is really similar to that Gruen transfer show that the guy mentioned at the start of the year. And so you are right. It's definitely on my mind, and I think that I just have to bite the bullet, and maybe not next week because I've got a big event next week, which is going to take all my attention from now till then.
Would you like to tell everybody about that at the same time?
I've secured a spot at a TEDx talk.
That is so cool.
Congratulations once again. That's amazing.
Awesome. So cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty. And that talk doesn't exist yet, other than in my mind. So I need to knuckle down and not muck it up. Basically, I've got to take advantage of that.
Don't have any worries for you on that. None.
Yes.
I've already just been you this little bit of time. That's not an issue. So.
Yeah, it's awesome. So I'll get that out of the way, and then I've just got to really commit, like you guys do. I look at what you guys are doing, say, like, if you guys can do 6 nights a week, 3 hours a time, why can't I find 20 minutes or half an hour or an hour?
And I would definitely tune in. Like, I'm not just saying because you're on the show. Like, we're all about brand power, and I'm sure a lot that follows for a while will say that. I worked in branding. I worked for a big music company with Marshall. Everything, of course, is brand. And that's what we bring to the table. And Xenia's background is psychology. And that's all we've done is just mix the two together and approach live streaming. Because live streams have kind of a bit of a taboo at them right now. And some purists don't like them. And some, there's all different. And some use them just to get hours and just don't put any work in them. It's like, it's easier than a video because I just get on and do something. Well, I believe you still got to give your best foot forward in anything you do and keep the same integrity you would do in a live stream as you would in a video. And you have to kind of rise above. But if you want to work at it, it's a great place to rise above, because I believe they're going to take off further and further. So if you're putting your best foot forward, you can really cement yourself in as a place that people come to watch and see.
I think the trick, and this is probably a lesson for anyone who's watching, who's considering doing live streams, is you've really got to focus on your rules of engagement.
Yeah.
Your rules of engagement, to explain it, is what are your standards and what are you going to be talking about?
Yes.
So I came up with the concept of rules for engagement when I was working in TV. Now, if anyone's ever been to a TV station, probably the second most entertaining free entertainment you can get, sitting in the foyer of a TV station.
Yeah.
The number one most entertaining free entertainment in the world is watching people reverse their boats down boat ramps. That is the best free entertainment ever. You can sit there all day and watch that stuff.
So true.
Number 2 is sitting in a TV station foyer, because this is what happens every day in a TV station. There will be at least 10 people a day walk into the foyer of a TV station. They go straight up to the security guard, who's usually ex-police or ex-army, and they say these words: "I have a story." Now, the security guard, because TV stations are in the business of telling stories, can't just say, yeah, all right, get out, no worries. He, without any training in broadcast or anything, has to try and work out, firstly, do they have a story? And secondly, where does this story fit? So who do I send them to?
Right.
Now, in Australia, it's pretty similar to American television and Canadian TV. Is you have the fun morning breakfast shows. Then you have like an afternoon news, which is a bit softer than your main bulletin at 6 or 7 o'clock at night. And then usually you've got an investigation, hard-hitting show, like a 60 Minutes. So this security guard has to sit there and go, okay, this person's got a problem with their neighbor's tree. Is it a story? Don't know. Which show do I call to come down and flesh this out a bit further? Now, when I was working TV, I switched this on because my job as a journalist was to continually bring stories to the show I was working on,
right?
To justify my pay packet. So what I did is like, okay, where are the free stories coming? Where are the stories coming that I don't have to work for? I can just pick them up. Sure, I could go sit in the streets in the city and walk around and meet people, or I could just help the security guard downstairs work out what stories are going to be best for me. What are the stories I like doing? And so I wrote him down a set of rules called the rules of engagement. If it's a light, fluffy, help a sick kid, it goes to the breakfast show. If it's a government investigation, it goes to the investigation show. If it's a neighbors fighting or love rat type story, it comes to me. And each show had 3 to 5 basic rules. The trick is when I gave him the piece of paper and sticky taped it to his desk, my phone number was written right next to my show. These stories ring this number.
I love that.
And it's the same online.
Yeah.
So for you guys, a lot of people, for me, I should have been live streaming starting before 2019, but I waited around for my lovely decal of the world to arrive to stick on the wall.
Which is beautiful, by the way. I said that tonight in the event. Yes.
Thank you. But what a waste of time. Look at you guys. You guys have got 6,500 subscribers, and you're sitting in front of a plain white, no offense.
No.
White wall.
Yep.
You don't need all these super high-end production values.
That's right.
To be successful online anymore, because it's something that production companies and TV stations have convinced themselves. If we don't spend this much money on production, people aren't going to watch.
Right. Yes.
It's a spending race.
Yes, exactly.
The thing is, YouTube and the internet and social media is proving that's not true. PewDiePie can have 80 million subscribers and he broadcasts from his bedroom.
That's right. It's a perfect analogy of it.
So everybody out here that's watching this, there is no reason why you can't find your place. There's an audience for everyone. That's the way the world works. We're all a particular archetype. We all give off, I don't want to get too woo-woo, but we all give off certain synergies and messaging by the way we dress, the way we talk, the way we use our hands or mannerisms. And because of that, because of human DNA, there are some people who will connect with us and there's some people who won't.
Yeah, that's right.
But what that means, don't worry about the negative, because Mark Ensby's single-handedly going to try and get rid of that dislike thumbs down button. But that means that there's also a whole section of people who do want to watch you.
That's
and
right.
do want to integrate. So what you got to do is you just got to work out what are your rules of engagement to continually serve those people, the people who are into you.
That's right. That is 100%. We preach that all the time. The best day of your life on YouTube is the day you realize that you're not for everybody because you've found your niche group. It's liberating.
Yeah.
Because everybody at first wants to be liked by everybody. And, oh, my God, why did that person not come or something? Who cares? You got 20 that do, and it solidifies itself. And then you're onto something because you have a path to go on to. It's like music. You can't pick up a guitar and think everybody in the world's going to love you. Whatever genre you play, there's somebody that's really not going to like it or not going to like the way you play. But there is what you focus on the ones who do want to hear you.
Yeah, that's right. And there's, if you start trying to make videos for everybody, you'll end up with an audience of nobody.
Oh
Very
my God, that
true.
is so well said. So
Yes.
well said. It is. Man, you nailed it on that one. That hits home.
We'll get that printed on some merch.
Yes, exactly. I think we found our new tagline. That'll be on your that'll be your live stream. There you go. You already have a good tagline. So,
Yeah.
no, it is. It is important to appeal and keep working towards and keep people engaged. It is a lot of work.
But let's say people have lots of stories to tell. How to choose which story is the one that to choose?
How to choose which stories to tell and how to tell them.
Yeah.
Well, it depends what you're trying to do. I think if you're trying to get exposure, then it's almost, you can go back to a news model or a news rundown model where they will sit there and sort stories of the day in an order, right? So they'll say this affects the most people, or this is the most relevant. So it's about understanding your audience. So we said before, here's this group that likes you. What's important to them? The stories you tell are the ones that are either going to move their emotional needle the most or solve their biggest problem.
Right.
They're the two core desires of human instincts. People could be as lucky as living in Australia in a beautiful house, food in the fridge, and you ask them how they are, and they've always got a problem. Right? Or they want to be stimulated emotionally. The brain is continually trying to tell itself stories. In fact, it spends 30% of its time while you're awake, daydream. And what is daydreaming? It's the brain telling itself stories. So here's the thing. While the brain's telling itself stories, it's taking risks. It's not looking out for saber-toothed tigers. It's not looking out for, cars as you're crossing the road. It's locked in, daydreaming about stories. And it's using energy to do it, burning calories, using its own energy. The brain's the most selfish organ in the body. Right? So what do you do as a creator to get traction or get someone's attention? You tell them stories. And why? Because then the brain, being so selfish, goes, oh, I'm now locked into a story and I don't have to do any of the work.
Yeah.
And when it does that, it'll put up barriers and blocks. So you got kids, right?
Yep.
And your kids are sitting there on their iPads or watching television, and you say, hey, time for bed now, or go have a shower, or pack your school bag. And you come back 3 minutes later, they're still sitting there. And you're like, what are you doing? I told you to go. Oh, no, I didn't hear you. It's not their fault. It's their brain. They're locked into a story and their brain's blocked you out. It's instinctive.
It's in that zone.
In that zone. And this is the topic that I think I'm going to be talking about on my TEDx. How the brain acts around story. Do you like it?
I love it.
I love it. Yeah.
I think we're hook, line, sinker. You got us in the zone.
The downside is you can no longer growl at your kid for not hearing you when you tell them to go and do stuff, because it's not their fault. It's their brain.
Yeah.
Instinct.
So what you're saying, while it's busy processing one story, it's not percepting another one. So as long as you are engaging that brain, fueling it with that story, it's not going to be jumping into other video. Or...
No, here's the thing, right? Because the brain is all about conservation. It's all about keeping you alive.
Right.
Right. And managing your energy levels and making sure everything's still ticking and the blood's still pumping and, you're not in danger. That's instinctive. That's how we survived from 40,000 years ago. That's how we evolved, right? So if it can save energy and not have to do any of the work, so it basically just goes into this shutdown mode. It actually goes into what's called the feeling brain rather than the thinking brain. It's basically having a rest.
Right.
But parts of it are still awake because it's consuming the story.
And it is an amazing coping tool, like you say, and been used for so many years. And then you hear a lot of people in near-death scenarios where they go on, not instantaneous, and the mind goes into that state and all that, and it's a way of pleasing the body, that zone, focusing. It's a way of keeping that person almost like generating hope, if you will, when there's no, they can get lost in their own memories and stuff, and they'll say that, I was thinking about Mom, the times we did this and all that. It's even in those dire straits, it can kick in as a way of like taking the stress away from you to not cause the complete overload. It's an amazing part of how the brain can be focused on tasks.
Yeah, it takes you somewhere else.
Yes.
It takes you to another place. Like at the moment, I've got a grandfather who's very sick.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, no, he probably wasn't expected to make it till Christmas. He had a fall. They don't know whether he had a stroke that caused the fall or not, but he basically his existence at the moment is just on a mattress on a floor in a care facility.
Oh,
now,
sorry.
He hasn't come back the way that he was. And you go in there and you sit with him, and he has moments of clarity, but he's telling the most vivid, amazing stories. Like, he's going back to places.
Yeah.
And, as sad as it is for the situation he's in, I'm sort of a bit like you, Andrew. I'm sitting there going, yeah, this is sad, but this is life.
Uh-huh.
But just pause that for a minute, put it away. What is this brain doing? Like, this isn't just the medication he's on.
No.
This is his brain saying, I'm locked in a room where, they probably, all they do is open the curtains for him, and he is just going back and telling stories.
Yeah.
And it's his brain saying, you know what? We're not tapping out yet.
Yep.
And how are we going to entertain ourselves?
That's right. We're out of here as far as the brain goes. We're going to look at something different, a change of venue, if you will.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going somewhere else.
Look at us.
It's amazing.
Even us to work on a really slow day, things aren't going well. That people daydream like crazy. You know, they get freaked out then when the phone rings because their head is so far removed themselves from that situation. They're not almost there anymore. For lack of
like the latest researchers show also for kids, the best way for them to develop is to get bored, because that's where they start figuring out how and what to do themselves.
Yeah.
That's
How they learn. It's how they learn resilience too. I mean, to be honest, as a parent, you know, we're probably all bringing up a generation that has never been so stimulated with information.
Yeah, it's exactly it. I was just going to say that 100%.
So for them, boredom is almost scary.
Yeah,
it's
unknown territory.
It's fear, and all fear comes from the basis of the unknown.
Right.
So all fear is born from the unknown. So if they're going into something like boredom, because they're not stimulated, they fear it. Where you and I, would grow up in Australia. You know, in Australia when I was growing up, we only really had 3 TV channels.
Right. Same here. Same thing. Yes. And
most of the, you were lucky if you got an hour of good TV a day before they went on to something else. And so, Lego can only get you so far by, or you go outside. It's probably why we used to throw sticks at people and
it was something.
Climb trees and
Well, you look back at even the craziest things you did growing up. It's like, how did I think of that? But in a way, it was kind of a lot of ingenuity going on because we had lots of time to think of stuff, good and bad. But that comes with anything. Where today they don't have a chance to think of that. It's whatever they see, they might imitate, but it's basically whatever was seen on the last YouTube video or the last game. That in that's because that's where their memories kind of begin and end, is with that. They're so stimulated.
Yeah, and they're being stimulated differently. So they're developing different.
Yes.
But I desperately want my kids to ride their bikes to school.
Yep. Us too. Our middle son is doing that as not right now because of the snow, but as he speaks, as the weather's better again. It's important. Yeah. It's important for them to have some identity and some ingenuity in themselves and some resilience to the world. Because it does scare me. I see a lot more of them not having the coping skills. I worked in that
resilience is a big problem.
A lot of companies now today, they get calls from parents. Oh, I have this son. He's 24 years old, and I think he'll be a good fit for your company. And I was thinking about bringing him in for an interview. And,
why's your mum ringing me?
They basically even go in and talk in the interviews for them. There's lots of cases of that now happening.
Yeah. We've got a show on TV at the moment here in Australia called Married at First Sight. And it's a show where they get the experts match 2 people together, and the first time they meet is when they get married. And one of the contestants, and I don't know what the age of your audience, but one of the contestants is a 29-year-old virgin. And he's a videographer, but he is the most timid, protected 29-year-old I've ever seen. Now, he obviously had to go in and announce to his parents that he was getting married in a week to a complete stranger. And you could, I'm sitting there, I didn't care about watching him. I was watching his mum. And his mum, naturally she's going to be shocked, but you could see that she wasn't, the kid, not a kid's 29, but this was a move away from her protecting him.
Well, yeah. Because basically you look at her more because she's the one who basically has formed him. She's been the guardian, the god, if you will, of his life in every shape and form.
But she might be the protector plus the purveyor.
Definitely. It's an unbelievable concept, isn't it? Like when you think about it.
Yeah.
My head's running over.
So with you guys, where do you see content going in the future? Like, because you run a production company, we work in similar spaces, doing similar things, obviously different dynamics to it. What do you see?
Interactive is the sky. The interactive is it's going to be more and more instantaneous connectivity. It's going to almost lose I feel almost like the host is kind of losing its ground, and it's going to become more of a collective co-op, any kind of entertainment. You're not even going to have that much control anymore as a ringleader as things go on. It's going to be so blended together. The lines will be so blurred that shows will basically just be like gatherings. because it's so coexistent now on each other, and there's so much input from each other, and it's just growing day by day, hour by hour. Sometimes it feels like, and that shows like it's collective co-op gathering. I think is the way it's gonna pretty much be seeding.
We're kind of going in a full circle back into what social media at first took away. You just talked about more interactiveness and more talking with people, more doing things before internet era. And then when it all started, it kind of people all went into surfing the net, being online, very disconnecting from each other. Now it's kind of going back into that circle of being connected again, interacting again, being together again, like we used to in quote unquote real life. Now this is part of our life, so that's what we're doing now. People are hungry for that interaction, emotion now, raw, like right now at the moment. What is going on? I want to know it. I want to feel it. What is going on? The way it used to be before, but outside
like the
of
community
internet.
chat room era.
Yep.
Kind of like that, yes. The same as with Twitter, was, for example, was commenting on each other's stuff in real time, things like that. It's not just with the live.
It's going to be less dictation and more collaboration.
Yeah.
People don't really want to be told much anymore what to do. They want to be a part of it. I mean, the show is changing. Like I just said hi to Clyde. I haven't seen in a while. I'm supposed to be hosting a show, but we're doing so many things like that. Like Clyde just dictated the moment for me. And I'm just thinking of that as I was doing it. That's a great example of it. Where years ago there was a presenter only, and and then with a guest, there was a very rigid structure on how this would work. The audience, I should have that closed right now by old standards. We shouldn't be doing what we're doing. You should never do this live, type of thing. And what live shows were like on TV with a live audience. It's a very controlled live audience. Signs held up to applause, to say hi, to greet, to stop. Now it just functions as a interactive chain, and they're guiding us the whole time. We're watching numbers to see where we're going, if we should change what we're talking about. We're watching the audience to see their impact and what we should talk about. They're asking the questions. They're showing lulls if they're not interested. They have a lot more control right now, really.
And most likely they're not watching just us. They're most likely watching 2-3 live streams at the same time and doing something else.
Of course. You can see it in stuff we do. Certainly like the wheel nights, we hold good numbers on it, yes, but I'll see sometimes after an hour between the wheels, the numbers go down a bit. But then when they hear that music kicking back on, all of a sudden the numbers shoot up 15, 20. They're running, they're multitasking, they're hitting different places. It's a Wild West all over again.
What do you think? Where it's going?
You mentioned something in there that I agree. I think it's going to become more real than reality TV, if that makes sense.
Way more.
But the one thing you mentioned there was responding to what's happening with the audience, and probably my next fascination beyond viral videos, or the next thing I want to tackle is home shopping networks. I find them fascinating, and the way that they run off data, and they do exactly that. Like we've got one here called TVSN in Australia. If the phones, they're yet to move it to a digital platform, which they should be doing. But, I could imagine platforms like Facebook hosting home shopping networks where you just purchase straight through the check. And I'm surprised it hasn't happened already. But, because you got your PayPal, you got everything set up. You don't have to ring someone and have someone else answer it and give a credit card number. You're just clicking, bang, bought, sent, bought, sent, bought, sent. So seamless. But it's the data. I really see data becoming a big part of dictating things. And it takes me back to 2001. This is a strange story. On my honeymoon, it's G-rated, it's okay. My wife and I were in Thailand, and I was fascinated with Asian television because it's different. Canadian, American, English, Western TV is the same. Eastern TV is different. The production values aren't there. They don't spend heaps of money on sets. They just put on a performance. Right. And it's interesting. They get just as many viewers. It doesn't affect them. But they had a show in Thailand, and I don't know the name of it, but basically, we're going out to street restaurants, and if we didn't order our meal at least 15 minutes prior to 9 o'clock at night, we had to wait till 9:30 to order, because everyone in the restaurant, including the chef, would stop to watch this show.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what's so good about this show? This show, do you remember Monkey Magic?
No. Sorry.
Oh, you don't remember the show called Monkey Magic? Oh, Andrew, you're gonna love it. It's from the 80s. Monkey. It's like this Chinese show dubbed into English. Monkey Magic. It's amazing. Watch it. Born from an egg on a mountaintop.
Oh, yes. I think I know what you're
With
talking about.
Pigsy and all those. So this show in Thailand was sort of in this mystical sort of monkey era, but it was done live. So it was acted out live. Now, here's the thing. Every ad break, the audience got to vote what happened. So almost like Days of Our Lives, where you get to the moment where, I don't know, what are their names? Bo and Brooke. There's always a Bo and Brooke.
Yeah, exactly. Those are
Lives,
safe
right?
answers. Yeah.
Yeah. Where Bo and Brooke were just about to kiss when they shouldn't. They'd go to an ad break.
Right.
Right. But in this Thailand show, in Thailand, the audience would decide, they get given options. Do they kiss? Do they stop? Do they get interrupted? And whatever. And they decide, and then the actors have to adapt to the decision made.
It's unbelievable.
Right? This is the sort of content I want to get into. This is, you're talking about that. The audience has control.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. I remember that, the first time my dad brought home a VHS recorder and it had the remote control by the cable.
Oh my God.
Now,
Yes.
the cable was about half a meter too short, but it had a cable. And that's when we started. That was the moment where viewers started to get control, because you could change the channel without getting off the couch. You didn't have to get up and click the dial.
Right.
We're now, with social media, going to be in a position where you can see cross collaborations of platforms. You guys could let Twitter steer your YouTube show.
Definitely.
It's not unrealistic at all. In fact, it's real.
Definitely.
It's here.
Yep.
So all that's happening at the moment is that people are still trying to catch up. That the video era is now. Like 99% of the population think that videos, don't worry about video, we'll do it next year. In fact, 2019's been interesting, because 2018 was the year where all these people I was dealing with were saying, yeah, we've got to get onto video. And they never really did it.
Yep.
2019, they're like, we've got to get onto video. This is the year where, mass market uptake hasn't happened yet. We're still early adopter stage.
Most definitely.
But where you guys are at, and people who are in this circle and in this community, we're already thinking about what's next.
Yes.
We're like, okay, we've bedded this down. We've got OBS working.
Mm-hmm.
Benon still has some trouble, but Benon, if you're watching, peace. But for the most part, it's all going smoothly, right? And once we're comfortable with that going smoothly, sorry, I hit my microphone. Once we're comfortable with that going smoothly, then we'll start thinking, okay, what can we do next?
Yeah.
And I truly believe it's going to be, like you said, Andrew, I think you're right on the money here. It's going to be, how can we give the audience more power, more involvement? How can we connect with them deeper? And we get to a point when augmented reality and virtual reality come into it. We won't be sitting here like this looking at flat screens. We'll be in virtual rooms.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's very true. So
Who knows what it's going to look like, but they're working on it.
It is. It is around the bend. At some point, somewhere, it is coming out.
It's there.
Yep.
Getting back to the personal connections, now it's just wider across the globe.
Yep.
But it's, at the end, it's still getting more closer connections.
We're giving
with
people
each
the
other.
fundamentals that they had 200 years ago and many thousands of years ago is finally coming to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
We're finally going to be doing things that people have been going through since the gain of technology. We've separated ourselves. Finally, we're going to be coming back to the point where we take all this new technology and go back to those fundamentals of being together as a society. Society never as we've known it in the past, but it will be societies nonetheless.
What it's going to do is it's going to make the world a lot smaller.
Mm-hmm.
It's not going to, it doesn't matter that you're in Canada and I'm in Australia.
Exactly.
It's going to be so borderless in the minds of people that
10 years ago, it would have cost us too much to ring each other on the phone.
Yep. That's right.
Now we're speaking on video for free. Like, this is Jetsons.
This is, I say that every now and then, this is a technological feat. We can actually do a full broadcast. I mean, with, slides and views and jump to video and back and forth. You across, like you say, around the other side of the world from us. People watching from all over the world. This is monumental what we're doing right now. Not dreamed of just a couple of years ago. But technology changed so fast now we actually take it for granted so often. We don't realize what age we're living in. We really
And the
don't.
kids growing up just expect it.
Oh, yeah. We have children that are 21, 12, and 8. Those three,
That's a good spread.
they all had different generations they've grown up into. Very different generations. You know, my daughter, we go home to my parents, she cannot understand why we cannot watch SpongeBob whenever we want. You know, this idea of a TV program coming on a certain time just bewilders her. She never knew
Well,
it.
we've got a family beach house here, not far from where, probably 50-minute drive from where I am, and I'm only probably 10 kilometres from the centre of Melbourne.
Wow.
So we're an inner suburb. So the beach house isn't that far away from Melbourne, probably 90 kilometres. This beach house has no internet connection, no mobile phone connection. I can only deal with being down there for about 2 days before I'm like, I got to go back. I can't handle this. I got to go. Like,
I get you.
but that's where the world's at.
It is.
It's like, man, I get shakes.
Yep.
I got to have my little friend.
Yep.
I mean, I got too many. It's like I got too many of them. But yeah, that's the world we're in now. We're conditioned to it, and
It is a part of our life, and it's not going anywhere, and it's just going to get more and more connected. You know, really, it's not turning back. There's no way it's going to happen. And when you're talking,
wait till Asia opens it up. Yeah, when Asia opens up, yeah, and there'll be technology that's sort of almost there now, where you could be Chinese and I could be English speaking, and the broadcast is going to translate it for us in real time.
That's another big part of it right there. Exactly, about being borderless. That's exactly it. Live time translation. Like you say, it's already there with Google in some shape and form, but it's just going to get better and better as we go.
The headphones now that you can have while traveling.
Yeah.
And they translate as you listen.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Like we have our Tech Talk Tuesday last night, every Tuesday. And I mean, the audience dictates that show for 3 hours. We don't come in, we come in with a couple little things we talk about at the beginning. But really, we'll say, realistically, 2 hours and 20 minutes or more is just them controlling what we talk about, what we do. You know, we don't have any control on that. It's all based on what they bring to the table. And I love that part. I love that. It's the infancy of it, and it's going to get so much better. But it's fun. It's like improv acting almost. You don't know what's coming next.
Just imagine what the governments have that we don't know about.
Yes.
It'd be terrifying to find out and exciting all at the same time.
Well, I actually heard Joe Rogan the other day. I think he's really clever. He's making little clips out of his bigger show, and I'm finding that I consume a lot more of his smaller clips than his bigger podcasts. I think that's a really clever strategy for anyone out there. If you're making long form content, grab the little bits out and use them as promos.
Yeah.
But he was talking about Donald Trump and aliens. And his theory is that if aliens exist, Donald Trump would have told us. He said it's a secret he couldn't keep.
That's true.
And
it's a good theory.
I think that's interesting. I mean, my theory on aliens, I know we're getting off topic a bit, is that, but I actually think humans are the aliens on Earth.
Interesting.
Because we're the only ones that don't fit into the environment. We're the only ones that want to change the environment that we're in.
I love that. I love this idea. I never thought of that, but I love it.
Oh my God!
Your thinking hasn't entered.
I'm thinking. There's my Valentine's Day.
Oh my God!
You planted a seed and conspiracy theories.
It's starting to spin there.
I'm gonna get woken up in the middle of the night. You remember when he said that to me? You know, last
Oh, it makes total sense now.
Yeah,
that's it. No, but it does. It does.
She's Eastern European. They all believe there's conspiracies in everything. Like, I kid you not. If somebody threw a pop can, well, there's a reason why that happened. Not because they were done with it. So I'm used to it.
I love conspiracy theories.
Ooh.
Love it. Yeah, all the time, all day, all the time.
You ever think about doing a live stream talking about those once in a while too?
Yeah, I do. Like, I like to dabble in a little bit of politics and decision making and deciphering press conferences and communications skills. The problem is it's really isolated to Australia. So I really want to focus on something, here we are talking about the future is borderless.
Yeah.
I sort of want something that goes borderless, but I think my first step, look, I've got so many ideas, but if you don't execute on them, they're worth nothing.
Yeah.
That's a lesson my grandfather taught me very early on.
Very smart man.
And so, yeah, I just got to get that. Maybe get that Brandemonium show up and running and do it as a live show. And I think I'm going to go back and check the comments from about an hour ago, and I think maybe just try it out on my channel.
I think it's
and
awesome.
if it doesn't work, start it on the second channel.
Well,
and that's the beauty. We can change whatever we do, right?
Well, if you ever decide to do guests, we're open. We'd love to talk to you.
Oh, I'd love to have you on conspiracy theory. We'll have a conspiracy theory episode or viral video episode, whatever you want to do. We do an episode on cigarette advertising now. How it's basically banned in Australia. I don't know what it's like for you over there, but
yeah, here too. Here too.
Well, we're not promoting
cigarette shops here are basically just white roller doors now.
Yeah, here they sell them in grocery stores and stuff like that, but they can't show them behind like a steel casing, like that kind of stuff. And they have all the graphic warnings on the packages and stuff. I always say I want to be like those 1970 interview guys. I need a big glass ashtray and a plaid suit, and
absolutely.
So that day you were with Bond, like I want to do it. Yes, that's right. And just do that at everybody, not say anything. just look old, like kind of.
You'll need a separate channel for that.
Yeah, that's right.
Maybe that's your Valentine's Day present. Give up cigarettes.
So yeah, we were wondering what you're doing.
Have you run? Oh, we're out of time.
Well, we loved having our guests. I don't know. It was something we never did at first, and then I used to sneak them. I'd have them on the side, and everybody's like, "Andrew, we know what you're doing." And I thought, you know what? I'm always telling people to be open. And I always tell people the only thing you got really, truly original on YouTube is you. And if you keep bringing you into whatever you do, you're going to stand out. And I thought, well, okay, I've been preaching to everybody that. I guess I am kind of lying myself by doing this. So I just started, and I don't know. I guess it kind of became a bit of my signature in some ways, not a good one. But nonetheless, it was being open.
Look, I don't want to I don't. What do we call it in Australia? Rag on you. That will give you a hard time for smoking. But I'm very into mental processes and justification of things. And how long have you been? Can I ask? Can we talk about your smoking? Can we?
He said sure. Yeah.
Yeah. You okay with that?
I'm 40.
I know it's off. Guys in the chat, I know it's off topic, but I think. Yeah, we could change a life here. We could change a life. Maybe not, but you never know. Kissing you don't want him to smoke, do you? You're worried about him smoking.
Well, I don't want him to smoke as much.
She smokes as well, by the way.
Yeah.
Not as
much.
much.
You do?
Not as much.
I just don't do as much. She smokes way too much.
Yeah.
Do you smoke as much? Did you smoke when you met him?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get her started before that.
No. I did. Yeah.
So here's the deal. How do you? And this is something I'm fascinated with. What age start smoking?
Why did I start smoking?
No, at what age? How old?
Oh, what age? 12.
12.
Yeah.
Constantly, or just tried it and then on?
No,
and off
I was a pretty good learner. I'll put it in perspective. I mean, I'm 45. I grew up in a rural area. I was a big time into rock music. That was a huge thing. All my idols all couldn't hold a guitar without a cigarette in their mouth. I was the youngest because a rural area, everybody hangs around together. It's a lot bigger age gap. It's very common
youngest in the tribe.
Yeah, so 12 to 16 is very common to all be in that sort of friend circle. And I mean, most of them, though, will say started when they were 14, for instance, but I was 2 years younger. Well, I was one of the younger ones in the group. And yeah, I jumped on the bandwagon. And the funny part is a lot of them ended up quitting, within 2-3 years down the road. I was one of the few that kept doing it. Oh, Roger's here, Canadian Drone Hub, my smoking buddy. He's 60-some years old and he smokes. That's why we laugh when we're on chats together. So there you came at the right time, Roger. We're covering my smoking right now for the first time.
But yeah, see, what fascinates me about smoking is that it's really obvious the damage.
Yeah.
But it's the data is in.
Yep.
There's no doubt, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where with mobile phones, the data's not in convincing enough.
Right.
people are still unsure. If anyone was going to suffer from something from mobile phones, it was me. I mean, I used to ring my wife for 2 years straight on an old Nokia 5110 for 20 minutes for free. I'd hang up at 19 minutes and then ring her again, and the phone would burn my ear almost. That's how hot it would get.
Right.
So phones do something, I'm going to be a good test case. But cigarettes, we know are bad.
That's right.
And you got kids.
Yeah.
Right? In the house where you're smoking.
Yeah, it's blunt.
Would you want your kids to smoke?
And of course, then the hypocrite. Of course, I don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
So why don't you value yourself as much as you value your kids?
Yep. That's the usual parental advance to it. I agree 100%. Nothing you're saying right now I disagree with. So I thought I agree with you, and I've thought about it. I've never been one to paint smoking as some sort of, it's not so bad, and I know it's bad.
Oh.
Yeah, thank you, son.
I think we need to get sponsorship on that hand.
Yes. To become the face of Pusa Studios is that hand.
I think that'd be a hilarious, almost like thing in the Addams Family, but we need to put sponsorship on there. Let's discuss, because I actually may be interested in the first one to sponsor the hand. But I'd want to, how many coffees do you have in episode? There we go. Fantastic.
Very funny, kid.
This is amazing. This is amazing.
You might get sponsored.
Might get grounded.
No, this is brilliant. This is something. We're onto something.
Yeah.
But so this is the thing. Have you ever asked yourself? Have you ever sat down and said, "What would it take for me to give up?"
Yeah. I quit for a year and a half one time. 10 years ago, or no more than that, 15. I forget now. It was a long time ago.
Yeah, and you just slowly got back in, and then boom.
Yep. I know I don't sound like a very interesting case study, and because I'm not disagreeing with any of your points whatsoever. I do believe when the time is right, and there's no right time to do it. That's the whole conundrum.
But is
of that
time going to be when you get bad news?
It's possible.
It's too late.
It is possible, exactly, and that's why.
I think I would start smoking even more. But it's like, well, what is there to lose?
Yeah, but I had a grandmother who went to 90 and she smoked 50 cigarettes a day. The cheapest, nastiest cigarettes you could buy. Her chair in her house was brown. The ceiling above where she used to sit was brown. She'd drink a flagon of sherry and 50 cigarettes a day. That was it.
The funny part is I smoke more on the live streams. Have actually brought my smoking a way up, and it's something about the go mode when I get in front of, or not just live stream, but if I'm on Hangout with somebody, I notice myself a lot more than I do when I'm not on. That's one thing I have.
Yeah, but you probably smoke more when you're in a social circle talking as well.
No.
If you're at a bar or something like that. No?
Well, there's no smoking here whatsoever in any kind of buildings, and you can't smoke in bars or anywhere like that. So, no. I think when I'm idle, I'm one of those people. When I'm very busy, I don't smoke as much. Like I'll be the person, even when I do light one, and I'm doing like editing or whatever I'm doing, I'll tend to let the whole thing burn out. And I tend to, the people don't see that part, but I tend to, even here, I'm probably putting them out halfway down. I'm barely. You know what I mean? I'm making more mess than I am actually taking in that part.
You'd be a homeless guy's best friend.
Yes, I would be. Very much so.
Because
I'm one of those people that doesn't like idle hands.
Yeah.
That's half of the in that part. But smoking, yes, I still is the habit. It's
go and buy yourself a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah, interviewing people. Yeah. Oh my God, I'd forget I'd even have a guest.
Spinner,
yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Yeah, no.
I wish you all the best with that because, yeah.
I appreciate
I think you contribute too much to the world to cut it short with cigarettes, but that's the beauty. It's your life, right?
No, I appreciate the words, and I do, like I say, and I don't glorify it. I don't. I think I'm just more honest. Like I say, there are other ones I know that do it, but they just don't do it when they're on camera. And I still believe in honesty is the best policy. Here it is.
No, I don't mind you doing it on camera. I don't think it's going to lead to anyone else taking up smoking. I don't believe in any of that.
Neither do I. I'm a very big, and I mean, I don't believe in that. I mean, if somebody does something, it's already they were in a state of mind or a weaker mind at the moment, whatever the case, whatever the scenario, you have your own head on your shoulders, and
that's it.
It's can't be everybody's God and protector. You got to be you and just be the best you can be. And
nobody's perfect. Like I don't know. Do you have Pepsi Max?
Yes.
in Canada? Yeah, like I love Pepsi Max, man. That's
That's
all
your vice.
yeah, that's mine. I actually had to get off it last year. It was just too much a day. But it's under control at the moment. But still, I don't drink alcohol or anything like that. So
Same as us.
I'm pretty boring.
Same as us. That's why we have this live stream works.
What do you do besides that to unwind? Besides the 2 days without everything and.
I like in terms of what do I do myself to keep myself entertained in a way. I love open water swimming. So 5 to 10 kilometer swims, races.
Wow.
It's almost like adventure swimming, really. I love the ocean. If you're in Australia, we're very blessed down here. I'm in Melbourne, which means it's a bit colder, not quite as cold as Tasmania, but a bit colder. So you wouldn't swim in winter, but in summer you'd swim. My main race that I love to swim is from one beach town to another. It's called the Pier de Perignon, or it's from Sorrento to Portsea. But I'm going to have to pull out. I've taken up playing field hockey so that I can develop with my kids.
Nice.
And just before Christmas, I got cleaned up and dislocated and broke my collarbone.
Ooh.
But being the man that I am, didn't go to the doctor for like 10 days, despite my wife telling me I need to go to the doctor because I couldn't sleep laying down. I had to sit up straight. And I didn't go to the doctor. I went to the physio, and the physio's like, put your arm in the air. And like, this one was up all right, and this one was about here. And she said, oh, no worry, no reason. Your collarbone's dislocated. And so she put it back in, and that hurt. And she goes, oh, no, I actually think it's broken. So,
oh my God, my knees are shaking. I couldn't.
Yeah, so swimming has had to take a back seat this summer, which is a bit sad. But I did play hockey again last Monday night. And I scored a goal, so I was very happy.
Nice. Benon is asking, how can you swim with all the sharks there?
Wow. I swim in a pack, so they get the slow ones. Sharks are my favorite animal of all time. I love sharks. I think they're very misunderstood. I was lucky enough once to do a story about the great white shark superhighway. So I don't know if you realize, but between the bottom of South Africa and the bottom of Australia and New Zealand is the great white shark superhighway.
Right.
And so every year they migrate to a place in New Zealand. Just let me point to the map.
I love that.
Down here, where the two islands separate. And basically New Zealand is really rich with salmon. And the great white sharks go and breed around the warmer waters on the east coast of Australia, and then they take the juvenile sharks over to this salmon feeding bit, and they basically just all sit in the one spot with their mouths open, and the salmon just swim in, and then they come back across Australia and feed on the seals at Seal Rock, and then feed on the swimmers in Adelaide and the swimmers in Perth. But they really don't want to eat humans. They're not into us.
Right.
But you're more likely to die from from an ecstasy tablet at a nightclub than you are to be bitten by a shark. Let's be honest.
It's sensationalized news when it does happen. That's why it builds the pandemonium.
Have you seen any in the water?
Yeah, absolutely. Yep.
While swimming.
Yeah. Like there's lots of sharks where I like to swim in Port Phillip Bay. Not dangerous. There are great white sharks in there. There was one probably only about 3 or 4 weeks ago that popped up on YouTube, and then of course the headline news was shark in the bay. Well, I'd be more concerned if there's a shark in a shopping centre than if there's a shark in the ocean. Let's be honest. So they're there, but they leave you alone. Probably the riskiest, the biggest risk to swimmer safety in Australia is the jellyfish, the Irukandjani ones or whatever, but they're further north, and jet skis.
Jet skis.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, those are. Yeah.
Wow.
Somebody enjoying themselves, not paying attention, and you're bobbing in the water is a great recipe for a collision. Yeah,
and sometimes. Look, I was swimming down the beach not long ago before Christmas, and so my parents live at one of the nicest beaches in Australia, which is about an hour and a half away from here, called Sorrento. They've retired down there. It's beautiful. It's basically a playground for retirees, And the water there is crystal clear, like blue clear. You can see for ages. Sandy bottom. There's some, not too much weed. So if anything's coming, you can see it, like big, massive manta stingrays that are as big as cars and stuff.
Oh my God.
You can see them coming, and you can tell if they're angry or not. And if they flap up their wing things, then you know that they've got a baby and they don't want you near, so swim in a different direction. That sort of stuff. Right? They'll leave you alone. On the other side of the peninsula is the other holiday house without the internet or any of that. And that's really sort of rocky and weedy and a lot of seaweed. And from that beach, you can actually see Seal Rock, which is where the great white sharks come and feed. And that's what I call dark water. And that's a bit scarier. So I was swimming there before Christmas, probably about, 500 meters offshore. And was swimming along, and all of a sudden just had this flash, this gray flash came past me. And I was like, oh my God, what is that? Instant, I'm gone. I'm not going to be able to get in here. And then the next minute, as I'm looking around to try and see what it is, another one, boom, straight past the other side. And I was like, I am in full trouble, because sharks won't come and bite you straight away. They'll always check you out first. And then luckily, when the third one went past, I was able to see its tail and realize that it was a horizontal tail rather than a vertical tail, which meant it was dolphins.
Oh my God.
So I turned from the most scary experience in my life to the most majestic, because they swam with me for the next 20 minutes.
Oh,
Wow.
that is so
Circling
cool.
underneath me. There was 2 adults and a baby. It was amazing. But when you get inshore, there's always the old sea dog, the old fisherman guy that's lived there forever. And he goes, oh, you're swimming with the dolphins.
Yeah.
Yeah. He goes, yeah, they're stopping, they're protecting you from the shark. And the dolphins will kill sharks to protect humans and dogs.
Yep. It's amazing, isn't it?
Wow.
So that old guy fully reckons there was a shark there somewhere, and I just didn't ever see it.
What a story.
That is so cool.
Wow.
Yeah, and everyone, when you get in and people are on the beach and stuff, we're in a lucky place to be able to do that. But if you worry about the fact you're going to get eaten by sharks, you'll never do anything in Australia. There's so many things want to kill us here.
Yeah, exactly. So you got to take life and just decide to kind of work with it, not hide from it.
If I could pick up my computer and take you outside, I could take you and I could find you a redback spider, or I could find you a white-tailed spider. I could find you all these things that, if they get you at night, you're gone.
Yes.
I won't find you any snakes. There's no kangaroos in my backyard. But
oh, how many times do you get asked that in the run of a week by awful tourists?
Forever. Although, probably 300 meters from where I live, there was a golf course. It's just been developed into houses, and that had probably 30 kangaroos on the golf course.
Oh, wow. That is so
So,
cool.
they're not around. They're just not lining up outside the supermarket.
Well, that's like when Xenia first came to Canada years ago. At my parents' house, it's nothing to have 15 white-tailed deer all at the house at night. Within, you walk outside and they're just grazing all in the yards and that.
Yeah, amazing.
And she's blown away. But like when you kind of take it for granted, until somebody else comes and sees it, and you kind of, oh yeah, I guess that is kind of interesting. Mostly they're a nuisance, like anything else. What people find neat is a nuisance. They're sitting there eating the flowers and eating the cedar trees.
Yeah, because in Europe they're more all in the woods, and as Andrew said, it because of the centuries and thousands of years of hunting. They all kind of scared of humans. Here, like so much wildlife right at your fingertips, like raccoons and squirrels and foxes, and it's so many animals that I've seen up close. I have never seen all my life living in my home country. It's unbelievable what you can see here. Bears even, crazy. It's unbelievable.
Well, see, Australia's got the worst record on the planet for extinction around native species. Like, we're really bad at it. We're trying to get better. And I've actually had this idea, and it's not getting much traction, but over here, so many people love cats and dogs. Right, we've got cats and dogs. Like, everyone's got 2 cats, 2 dogs. Right? I've got 2 dogs sleeping right here, right now. But we've got a lot of small marsupials, like little possums and feather gliders and all these little sort of rodent numbats and quokkas and all these things that cats and dogs, love to eat.
Right.
Yeah, so it's hard to battle them. We've also got things like called the Tasmanian devils, which are amazing. They're one of my favorite marsupials of all time. But they're only in Tasmania, and basically Tasmania used to be fox free until some got there about 10 years ago, and they started trying to poison the foxes. The Tasmanian devils are scavengers, so they only eat roadkill. So they've eaten the foxes with the poison, and then they've got these facial cancer tumors, and the risk is that they could die out. I think they're down to like 1,000 maybe, which is crazy, ridiculous. So they're trying to save them. They've brought some over to the mainland, and they've got them locked away, and they're trying to breed a clean batch, I suppose. But my proposal, which I'm trying to get off the ground, is that Australians aren't allowed to keep native animals as pets. And we've got lots of animals that you could keep as pets quite easily, like dingoes, not too much different to a dog.
Yep.
Quokkas, quolls, Tassie devils. I want to have a Tasmanian devil as a pet because they'll thrive just like cats and dogs do if you could actually let people keep them. But there's this whole argument of wild animals should be left in the wild. My argument is we're not doing that great a job at looking after them in the wild, but when we invite them into our homes, they thrive. So do we keep the species or lose the species? That's the dilemma we face. What do you think, Andrew? Do you want a Tassie devil?
They're interesting. I know of them. I was just showing anybody in case they hadn't seen one yet.
I watched I think we both watched that documentary about what you just talked about, the face cancer and the way they're trying to eliminate it. I think it's a great idea. Why not? I mean, if it is a way for trying at least to maintain it for now.
Exactly.
It's, why not?
Tasmanian devils are one of the reasons why many unsolved murders in Tasmania. Because they'll actually eat the bones. So you dump a body, it's gone. Amazing, right?
It is. It is.
All of a sudden, there's going to be a rush on Tasmanian devils to Italy.
Oh my god!
Sicilian Tasmanian devil species.
Russia. All these Tasmanian devils to Russia, please.
Infantry Outdoors says I have a blue-tongued
lizard?
Skunk.
Blue-tongued skink.
Yeah, from Australia.
Cool.
Yeah, well, they're actually called a blue-tongued lizard here in Australia. There would be, we've got a few in the property down at the beaches. They're beautiful. They're about probably a foot long, so size of a size 10 shoe or bigger. They'll eat baby snakes. They're really clever. That when snakes, Australian snakes, and I think all snakes, when they have their babies, they drop them live. So they'll be moving along and the babies come out. And the blue-tongued lizards are really clever. They pick up the scent of the snake and they just follow behind and eat the babies.
Oh my!
So they're actually really good at keeping the dangerous snakes down.
Wow. That's it. I mean, that keeps the full circle going then, like that. I mean, natural predators.
Oh, he's 2 feet long. Wow, infantry outdoors. Interesting.
Jeez.
2 feet long. That's a big one.
Would they get that long in the wild, or is that because he's being raised? Like I know that makes.
I think he'd be 2 foot long. Seems pretty big. Maybe 40 centimeters would be about right.
Okay.
I've never seen one 2 foot.
Wow.
He might be half bred with something else.
Okay.
Don't know. I don't know if you can even half bred.
I would be interested to see.
You're gonna post a picture, infantry outdoors, on our Blue Orange group.
Post us a picture. Yeah, post a picture. I want to see it. Because there are different ones. There's alpine ones and desert ones, and they've got really beautiful different colors to them and stuff.
Wow.
Crazy.
It's
right.
And you guys have such a diverse ecosystem there because of its isolation and that. I mean, so many species. It's kind of like a bit like in the Galapagos Islands type of idea. So many more just situated to Australia because of its isolation.
We've got so many temperate environments, so we go from we're the driest continent on the planet other than Antarctica. Probably 80 to 90% of Australia you can't live in because it's desert.
Right.
And we've got alpine areas with snow and through to desert areas plus tropical areas. We're very, very diverse.
Yeah.
But just not doing a good enough job at conserving it at the moment.
Yeah.
Got a lot of trouble with our river systems. Cotton farmers have come in, international interests have come and bought properties, and then they're not doing the right thing with letting the waters go down the river systems, and it's
a shame. Yeah.
Anyway, that's problems probably being faced by all countries in the world, I'd suggest.
Well, like when you're saying most land, I mean, that's another thing with Canada. I mean, 75% of our population lives within 100 miles of the U.S. border. Most of it was uninhabitable just because of the cold, the tundra style. But now as we're getting the warming going on, those places are starting to open up more and more. And I'm wondering what's going to be the plan for the next kind of 50 years here, especially oil exploration. All the trying to tap into all of these sudden more readily available minerals, as well as people moving in more and more. As the warmer climates, more people will start to be able to move north or want to move more north and start, new communities and stuff. How it will change the face of this country.
Yeah, what's really interesting that's what's going on here in Australia is that, my dad is the head of the Australian Gas Association. So, he's sort of head of the gas industry here.
Really?
In a part-time, semi-retiring sort of thing. And what's really interesting here is that a couple of the state governments, not the federal governments, are capping or stopping gas exploration. And Australia has the biggest gas fields in the world, like off the coast of Australia. Now, here's the thing. They're not allowed, and I've got to get this right because I don't know it exactly, but basically they're being restricted, and the price that they sell the Australian gas to Australians is almost like 4 or 5 times the price that they sell it to countries where they're exporting it.
Right.
So countries like Malaysia and all these areas are getting Australian gas at a fraction of the price because they're trying to stop exploration for Australia. So they're trying to make Australia, the politicians at the moment, to be a fully renewable energy country.
Right.
Which is grand. Good. Go for it when it's ready. But this summer here in Melbourne, we've faced blackouts because it gets too hot, and because they've closed down the coal power stations, the wind farms aren't generating enough power to keep the lights on.
Yeah.
So I'm all for solar power. I'm all for renewable energy, but I think they've got to do a better job of when do you flick over.
Yeah.
And the other thing that's going on is, a lot of Australia's minerals and stuff are being sold overseas, or the leases are being sold to, let's just say a big red communist-owned country. And that country's now, we're almost at the point where they're going to be selling it back. We're buying it back off them.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes. Exactly.
And
exactly.
It's like, how does this happen? But anyway, we've moved a long way off viral videos. But yeah, they're all discussion points, and people care about them, and it's about picking up the zeitgeist, right?
Sonny Greenwood said, see if he wants to renew energy by sharing that chart that he showed earlier.
Oh, this chart?
Yeah. When you showed that chart the first time, everybody started talking about the secret recipe and SpongeBob and Plankton. We gotta get our hands on the recipe. What is the secret recipe?
It is. It's the secret recipe. It's the secret recipe. You know what's amazing about this is that you can look at this. Sorry, I bumped the microphone again. Mark Ensby.
Yeah,
Sorry,
can you put it closer and pause it?
I can put it closer. So you can see this, right? This is all okay. The magic's in the back end, right? The magic's in the algorithm that drives that. How good's this as a world? Like, this is how resourceful and abundant the world is. I wrote the algorithm. Let me get it. Hold on. Excuse me. This bit I can't show you so much. This is real IP from 6 years ago. I started writing the algorithm out with my kids' colored pencils on a pad.
Wow.
All right. I then refined it, but I didn't know how to use Excel or numbers. Like, I didn't know how to write a formula. So I went up to the Apple store, and I had a 1-to-1 membership where you could book like 1 hour with an expert. And I booked 1 hour with a young kid at an Apple store and said, I want to learn how to use numbers. We got about 5 minutes into that lesson. I said, you know what? I've got zero interest in learning this. Can you just write me this formula? And I just handed him the formula, and he's written it. And so I've got this file, which has the viral formula on it. So you can just click it on a computer and it spits out the number. at the end. Now, I will get that made into an app. But here's the thing. That formula is the core of my business.
Yeah.
And I paid $0 to have someone write it up for me.
That is so cool.
Crazy. That's resourcefulness. That's resourcefulness.
And the kid's like, what is this? I said, don't worry about what it is. Just this is what I need. And this is how this interacts with that. And when that one clicks and that one clicks, it has to make a difference of this division. And yeah, it's a big formula. Yeah, it took nearly 18 months. And he had to write it out in an hour.
That is
Wow.
so crazy. It's so amazing all at the same time.
And it adds to the story. You know, I think its value sometimes is more than the test itself. It's the story that goes with it. And that's probably the greatest message today, you know, for you guys being so kind having me on, is that think about your story. Just don't tell people stuff. Don't just make videos about stuff. Romanticize it. It's Valentine's Day, for crying out loud. Let's be romantic in our storytelling. You know, add some emotion to it, and you'll see a massive boost in your engagement.
Yep. It really is. And that's the part that we always say as well. And it's nice when we have guests on that reiterate a lot of these things and bring something new, but also reiterate some of the stuff we've been telling people, is how important it is to sit down and think about what you're doing. I tell everybody to look at their about section on their channel every 2 months and really go over and make sure you're either A, you're still sticking to what you committed to, or B, have you gone a direction far enough that you have to rewrite that? Because once you do your about section, you're already taking a new focus on where you're going with your channel.
Well, that's the start of your rules of engagement right there that we spoke about.
That's right. It really is.
All part of that structure.
And commitment, and I like what you said tonight about familiarity. I mean, people come at a certain time. That's what we do. That's why we go on at a certain time. That's why we try to do the same things. We shake it up with different guests, different topics, but they know what they're getting when they come here. And that's what happens with a lot of channels. They'll say, oh my God, this guy's doing great with something. I'm going to do that now. And then 2 weeks later, oh, look at the night he had last night. That's amazing. We got to be that kind of a channel. Well, nobody can commit emotionally with you because they never know what's going to be around the corner. People like surprise, but they also want to go to a place that they feel welcome. They know what's going to happen to a certain extent, and then surprise them within those perimeters. But if you're going to change your channel...
But do you know what that is, Andrew? That's trust.
Yes.
And that's the brain saying, we're busy. This is really key. This is really good that I'm glad we got here before we jumped off. That's the brain. And this is what happens when someone shares something. So if someone shares a video to you and says, hey, Creaky, I want you to watch this video. My brain instantly, subconsciously says, okay, they've already taken the risk to watch it. They've already taken the risk to waste their time to watch it. And they've actually validated it and said, this is worth watching. So my brain instantly lowers its guard and goes, oh, this isn't going to be a risk to take the time out to watch this. Yeah. And you're the same. So you guys are the same. Your show has a pattern and a consistency about it that people go, you know what? We know what we're getting. Yeah. And then they make the decision, have we got the time to invest in it tonight or not?
Right. Yes, exactly.
Right? And then the next step beyond that you're using is a real broadcast step, which is you're now that you've got the trust of the viewer coming, you're now forming habits.
Yes.
Because you're showing up at the same time every night. So I worked in TV and scheduling for a bit, and I could tell you the schedule for Channel 9. I could probably reel it off right now from the mid-90s. Yeah, at 7:30 on a Monday night, they had Friends, and then they had that show Caroline whatever with Brooke Shields, and then after that they had the Monday night movie, and then Tuesday night they would have a travel show called Getaway, and then a NCIS or crime scene investigation, one of those, and then it just goes on, and it was the same pattern for years, like 4 or 5 years. You knew 7:30 on a Thursday night you're going to get Getaway.
Yep.
9:30 during the football season, you get the football show. Yep. And then create habits. And people love habits because it's a system, a structure.
Yep.
People love a structure.
And it was lost.
You guys are creating that.
And it was lost in YouTube for a bit. And that's why I say we're kind of going back to some old fundamentals, even though we're progressing. we're going back, and YouTube actually favors a lot of scheduling because your audience can commit to it or choose to commit to it, you know, or build their day around. People say, okay, I got the kids down because I know Pusa. I love when somebody says that, you know, that's an honor, a great honor to hear, you know, that they've actually changed their schedules a bit so they can actually watch us. I mean, what else could you ask for from somebody?
And if you switch that over to Facebook, particularly Facebook Watch, which is an app that's now turning up on Apple TV and your smart televisions and all that sort of stuff, they're actually saying to creators, we want half an hour, 1 hour, 90-minute programs from you.
Yep.
But we want you delivering them the same time every week.
Yep.
Because they know the power of a habit.
That's right. And so do advertisers that want to advertise with it.
Yeah, because it gives them, you're removing the risk.
Yep.
If you're controlled and you're there every week, then they know they can get steady streams of income. LinkedIn's interesting. Yesterday, LinkedIn started to release its live function. Now, along with its live function is a more hidden feature called series, where you can set to make a series of videos, and you can set, it's a 6-episode series or it's a 10-episode series. Now, LinkedIn is requiring that you post that content at the same time every week.
Yep.
Or post it earlier, and they'll schedule it to go every week.
Yep.
So what we're seeing now is this evolution where these platforms are learning from television. Television might be struggling now. It might be dying, but it got a lot right. It got habits right. It got storytelling right. The problem with television is it's locked into a box that's stuck on your wall.
Yes.
To a degree.
Yep.
Right. It's actually the financial model of TV is broken.
Yeah.
The fact that TV stations, own massive buildings and have hundreds of staff. Yeah, there was an incident not far from my house where, I was standing there with my phone broadcasting live to Facebook for virtually no expense. And I look at the TV guys who I used to work with, and they've got a link truck, $1 million. They've got a link truck operator. He's at least $100,000 a year. They've got a cameraman. He's at least $100,000 a year. His camera's $90,000 a year. There's a sound guy. He's probably $70,000 a year. His sound gear's probably $10,000. And then they've got a journalist who, probably another $100,000.
Yeah.
So you're talking nearly $2 million.
That's right.
And I'm standing there for free, and I can interact and chat.
Yep.
I can actually give you a better viewer experience.
That's right.
That's why television's dying.
Yep. It's locked. It's locked in the brick and mortar side of it. Is what's killing it.
The worst position you could be in, the worst job in the world right now, would be the head of sales of a TV station.
Yes.
Because every year their aim is to put up their rate card by 3 to 5% every year. So that's charging 3 to 5% more for every 30-second slot. How do you do that when your audience is diminishing by nearly half? Like when I was on TV 2012 when I left, our show was getting 1 million views between the east coast of Melbourne. So Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, 1 million viewers every night. And our competitor show was getting 1 million viewers. That show nowadays, in that time slot, is less than 200,000 for the 3. 7 years.
Yeah, it's not very long.
They're reporting 90% drops in profit. And I remember being at TV channel saying, "Oh, do you guys want to register your channel on YouTube? Do you think you should register your Twitter handle?" No. I remember actually pitching a show because Channel 7, the station I worked for, was paired with Yahoo. They made a partnership. I remember going with one of the top sports guys saying, you know what? Let's make a show that reveals the football teams, the football selections every week, Thursday night. We'll sit there and say, here's the teams. And we'll put it out on video on Yahoo. And we went to them. The Channel 7 was going to give us the studio for free, the operators for nothing, and we're just going to create this asset for them. The head of Yahoo at the time goes, forget it. YouTube's never going to work. Data's too expensive. Video's not the future. Can you just write it up as an article?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I remember leaving that meeting just going, either I've got it really, really wrong, or the wrong people are running this stuff.
Yeah. And that's what it is. It's
Isn't he biting his nails now?
Yeah.
Wow.
He doesn't have a job, I know that.
Yeah.
It's part of
Not
the
where
old.
he was, anyway.
It's part of the old gentleman's club, and a lot of it too, like in that mentality, and then also it's so infiltrated by. I don't know about Australia, but like here in Canada, the United States, it's so oversaturated in the unions that run all the work into it. You know, all of them were based to like kind of plug their ears and say this is not going to go anywhere. You know, and that's what's killing them is their own denial of where it is.
But here's the thing, right? I mean, there's marketing managers and, you know, people who are running businesses now. The risk is on them. So it's like, do we just keep doing what we used to do? Or am I going to be the one that takes the risk?
Yeah.
And if it doesn't work, if we don't get it right, I'm gone.
That's right. Your head's on a platter.
So it's like, do I die slowly or do I take that risk?
No.
And yeah, that was always a battle I had early on with this sort of stuff in production, is that I'd go in there and say, I'm going to make this, you know, make you this type of video and this is its potential, but I can't guarantee your views.
Right.
And they'd just turn around and go, oh, you know what, let's just spend our money on banner ads and click through.
Oh.
Where now, you know, the brands that did start investing in their audiences back in 2012, they're massive today.
Yep.
Yeah, they're future-proofed.
Yep. Especially with the
It's an
net
interesting world.
It is, and it's only going to get more interesting. That is for sure. I want to thank you so much for tonight. I mean, just to have the chance to speak with you, and after TEDx talks and all that, I think it's going to be even harder to get a hold of you. So I'm so glad we got to do it now while we had the chance. And
I'll always be available for you guys and the Creator Cast boys.
Well, we do appreciate it. I would definitely
Thank you.
don't hope this is just the beginning of getting to know each other. Definitely not the end.
Yeah, sure.
Absolutely
it is.
When is your book coming out?
Yes.
I'm hoping that the book will be out by the end of the year.
Oh, I think it's gonna be for grabs from everyone, at least here for sure. And I'm,
Yes.
my God, so looking forward to that. Definitely.
It was really interesting. I've got this guy who's sort of become a mentor of mine. His name's Rick Rushton. He's a really good keynote speaker here in Australia in the real estate space, and he wrote a book last year called The Power of Connection, and it went bestseller, which was really cool for him. And that's how I sort of reached out to him and said, I got this book, can I get some guidance on what to do? So anyway, he and I were speaking at the same event yesterday in Sydney, and we went to the airport together, and he took me into the bookshop and he goes, what do you see? And yeah, there's the subtle art of not giving a freckle and a few of those other, you know, typical books that are on the shelves. I said, I just see some books. And he goes, no, what I see is in 9 months, your book is going to be there. And it was, yeah, it gives me chills. And
Definitely.
I hope, you know, I don't mind if it doesn't go gangbusters, but as long as it helps someone.
Well, I think that's a given. I think I don't put much on the dotted line, but it's definitely going to help more than just someone as well too. So
Somebody asked already, and I just wanted to ask as well about somewhere where they can learn from you. I know you have a course.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I'm not big on plugging, but yeah, I have an online course called spreadfactor.com.au. You can go there and have a look. Hopefully the URL is connected to the right funnel. If not, just drop me an email on jonathan@virable.com. Yeah, that's it there. You can book through there, or you can just ring and have a chat to me and see if it works for you. I really only let people into the course that I know I can help. I'm not going to take your money if it's not going to be a benefit for you. It's just the kind of guy I am, which is, you know, my business manager's like, no, let everyone do it. But it's a 10-week course. I used to do it live in a room, but I now do it online. And so yeah, it's got like 33 videos, a 200-page manual, which I've got here. Here's one I prepared earlier. Takes you through the formula, how to apply it to yourself. Yeah, some of the results people are getting out of this. You know, if anything, the worst thing is that you learn how to communicate better, and other people are getting like 10x, 50x better responses on their content, and just understanding their messaging and how to do it.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's been really good for people, and I really enjoy doing it. And then, every week there's a group chat like this where you can get in, and I'm available for over an hour or 2 hours, just answering your questions and helping you with stuff.
It's so cool.
Thank you
Well,
so
Get
much.
in, enjoy it.
Most definitely.
All the links are down below in the description of the video,
Yes.
guys. If anybody didn't catch any of the links in the chat, everything is available and is going to be available in the replay of the video on our channel afterwards as well. Thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, you've been so generous with your time. It's been such an amazing chat.
No worries. And of course, yeah, I've got the new, probably going to start the next intake for the course in March, and you guys get a free seat if you want it.
Oh my goodness.
You can do with that whatever you want. You can come in, you can do the course, or you can give it away, whatever you want to do.
Wow. That's very generous of you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you so. Wow.
Wow.
Andrew's like, I'm taking it myself.
I'm not sure what to do because that is.
And if you
Shocked
guys
us.
take it, I'll probably even throw in a second one
Oh,
to have one of your guests take it too.
Oh my God. Wow. That is
No.
amazing. Thank
Just on
you
the
so
spot
much.
there. You know, Andrew, you said you like to do stuff. on the spot.
yeah, exactly. I mean, I am. I'm blown away.
Thank you so much.
That would be awesome. What a great. Yeah.
Thank you.
I think we got.
If
I
people
think.
have watched us for the last 2.5 hours, they deserve a seat.
Oh no! Everybody enjoyed you a lot, and we're gonna talk about that because if that's the case, we're gonna have to promote that in a good way and get some
Oh yeah,
more time.
definitely.
Yeah. So we'll be in touch with you very, very soon. So.
Thank you so
You got
much.
you got three things on your platter now, Andrew. A, we've got to find Ben on a girlfriend. B, we've got to get you guys off cigarettes, and 3, we've got to find someone to do the course.
You're
I hear where you're
amazing.
coming from. Oh my God! Did our camera just freeze?
I think so.
How did that happen?
Wow.
Oh, I'm all good.
Oh my God! We've never had that happen before.
Well, at least we still can see you.
And me holding a cigarette froze on too.
Yeah, I think it's a sign. I think it's a sign of
It is
what
a
just
sign.
Jonathan was saying. Thank you so much. That was amazing. And yeah, thank you so much for your time. And we'll definitely be in touch. Looking forward.
You know, it's great to connect to you guys, and I just really appreciate you guys paying me some attention. It's it's how the world goes around. So thank you.
Yeah, Ben says froze right at finding me a girl.
Finding Ben on a girlfriend, yeah.
Well, thank you so very much for your time, and we're going to be talking to you ASAP about that. We're going to find some way to make that work. Since you know how to get things viral, we're going to do the giveaway then to be so. Picking your brain.
Thank you.
We'll do that for sure.
Sounds great. Thank you so much. Cheers, my friend. Thank you for all your
Thanks.
time.
Bye.
Pushes. And make sure he spoils you on Valentine's Day. Don't let him not do that.
I will. That I
Buy you-
promise.
might buy you menthol cigarettes or something.
There you go.
I said Jonathan said. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day, my friend. Cheers. Bye now. Oh my God, that was
Thanks,
so
guys.
awesome. Thank you so much. That was so awesome. Be well. Yeah, we're still frozen. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
I've never seen that before. I'm not even sure.
We
now.
are here. I don't know if you guys can hear us.
Yeah.
Can you hear us? That was amazing. Now, good thing it at least lasted till the end of it.
Yeah, I've never had that happen before. I want to shut it off for a second and see if I can.
Yeah, they can hear us.
Okay, good, guys. You can hear us.
Yes. Well, that was amazing, Jonathan Creek. Guys, check him out. Check out his website. All the links are down below in the description. Check him out. Listen to him on his TEDx talk next week. I'm sure TEDx is going to post that on their YouTube channel as well. Looking forward to that. And, of course, his book. And, oh, my God, the giveaway. Well,
cool.
can't wait for that. I can't wait to be a part of it. That was something. That was amazing.
Yeah,
Wow.
Wasn't expecting that one.
Yeah, so glad to be taking part into that, and one lucky person is gonna get that as well. You know what goes really well with our yearly celebration of our show?
Yep, that's what I was thinking.
We also have our Juliet Miranda with her flasks, custom-made flasks that they offered us as well for
That is
giveaway.
So kind.
So things are coming up for our birthday celebration at the end of March, guys. So looking forward to that. And Oh my God, has been amazing stream.
Yes.
Looking forward to our next guests coming up tomorrow.
Just want to mention, guys, since you can't see us right now, I'm just putting back once again. Don't forget to check out our awesome guest tonight. Links in the description. So I'm just showing some of those thumbs as well.
Yes, that's right. And all the links are in the description. Check that out. That was amazing. Tomorrow we're going to be back on at 1 p.m. Eastern with our shout-out wheel as always.
Hopefully not frozen. The wheel will look nice like that. Frozen on one number the whole time.
And Friday, intimate and emotional, as our guest today said, stories about us. A post-Valentine stream, intimate one, just the two of us. How we met, how did I moved to Canada, and how I'm still sitting on this couch here more than a decade after. Your questions about us and our private life shared with you on Friday. So that's at 7 p.m. Eastern. And on Monday, guys, we are going to be visited by an amazing couple. She is an American-Cuban singer.
Yes, guys, touring
she sang
everything.
with Ricky Martin.
That's right. Lots of really diverse guests coming, guys. Lots of great things along the way. And once again, sorry, I feel weird talking with this camera frozen. This feels so weird.
You can switch on the other camera, maybe.
No, it's too hard to line it up now for the site. So
well, guys, we'll just have to say byes then.
Oh my God, isn't that nice? Gussie said Canada is richer now that Xenia is here.
Oh, guys, you're amazing. Thank you, Gussie.
What an awesome thing to say.
That is so sweet of you. Thank you so much.
And Jason Woodpigeon said, try to send someone your way, but don't know if they made it. I'm not sure.
There were some new people coming in. So Jill in Montreal tonight for work. Oh, okay. Well, interesting. Cool. I hope she's not snowed in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because anybody who didn't... There, since we can't show that, this is what it looked like today in Montreal. There's a shot, if anybody didn't see it at the beginning. Those streets were clear last night. This just went on through the night. So that's what we woke up to this morning. So that's where... This is not our street, but just an example of them. Well, guys, thank you very much for your time. This feels so weird.
Yeah, we're still frozen in time, but that's okay. You're going to see us tomorrow.
And thank you guys so much for your time.
And are we jumping over here?
Sure. Yep.
I have a stream here, so if you want to continue your entertainment for the night, as always, we send you guys over to a live stream of going on right now to show some love to another channel. So add hashtag from Pusa with love when you join it. From Pusa with love.
And hope you guys, if you haven't hit the like button, please do. If you are new here, hope you can subscribe and check out everything. And if you have time after, guys, if you have a few minutes, you can come back and leave a comment on the live stream. That really does help us out a lot. Ottawa was slowed down, Woodpigeon said. Because he said Gills had to drive in that. She left in that snowstorm.
Oh, my. Well, I'm happy she's safely here.
Yes, exactly. Yep, there you go, guys. There's the link. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do on the way out, as well as the subscribe. Thank you very much for coming. And a big thanks once again to Jonathan tonight. It was an awesome discussion.
And happy Valentine's Day to those that are already celebrating on the 14th of February, which, by the way, is also 14 years since YouTube was founded.
There you go.
On the 14th of February, 14 years ago.
Have a great night. Oh, Michelle, we're just on our way up. It's so awesome to see you. I hope we can see you tomorrow. 1 p.m. Eastern, guys. The Wheel of Shoutouts. Thank you so much for coming, each and every one of you. Links in the description, guys. Go show Hillbilly Pyro some love. And please use the hashtag from Pusa with love when you get there. Thank you so much, guys. We'll see you soon. Cheers and keep creating.
Mwah.
Bye now.